Wingblade here, welcoming you to our late night special, the Swift Wings Speakeasy. For the next couple hours, anything goes. We're here to talk about life, film, and maybe some childhood trauma. If there's anything we didn't cover on Monday's show, or you think we should review a 3-decade-old movie, this is the place to make it happen. This show is designed for all of us to just get back and toss out the itinerary. Expect random trivia, fancasts, and loads more. We're like Bernie Bot's jelly beans. Might be dirt, might be bogey. Either way, expect disappointment. Donations work a little differently as you can decide where your dollar lands and whose goal you want to help reach. So whether you came here to ask about Jesse's stage play experience or to ask Sean what extraterrestrial creature gave him the name Wingblade, you've come to the right spot.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for sitting through our introduction that we have here on our very first episode of the Swift Wings Speakeasy. Now, where does that name come from? It comes from you two hosts for this show that is about nothing and everything and some things, which is me, myself, Jesse, the Wayne Swift, and my co-host
Sean. That's me, right? Yeah. Can you hear
Sean,
me? Am I popping
Sean
up?
the Wingblade. Yep.
Oh, Wingblade. Yeah, there we go.
You've been unmuted until I have reasons to do otherwise.
Yeah, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Dude,
you just got off a show.
I did just get off a show. I'm a busy body tonight. Hey, speaking of busy bodies, we have Malcolm hopping over from where I was on Finally Tailored channel doing geek movie brackets, which is a lot of fun. It's very emotional. I'm feeling a little drained. Like to just kind of let loose and
I was watching. I was I wasn't happy with quite a few of the choices that went on.
My wife in the other room, she told me, I was trying to just, like give her some back scratch and like, okay, honey, go to bed. You got work in the morning. And she's like, I should have chose Logan. I was like, yeah, we all know you should have chose Logan. She's like, I should have chose Logan.
I'm so mad at myself.
she's just beating herself up. So I feel awful for
her. Everything you guys said wasn't wrong. I mean, it's not a fun rewatch, and I just rewatched it a few days ago.
She wasn't saying that as a critique, but it is brutal.
No, yes, it's just you obviously you would rewatch Return of the Jedi so much more because you get the happy ending and they save the galaxy and whatever. But I mean, I feel like all around Logan's just a better made movie. Like how could
second time I watched Logan in theaters, I walked out. I think I saw it by myself the second time, and when I walked out there, I was like, "Why did I do that to myself again?"
I am forgetting words.
Words are hard, buddy.
Words are very difficult. I'm with Lauren on what she said that her and her friend didn't speak for like an hour after the movie, and that's what me and my buddy we went and saw it. We were sitting next to each other in theaters, and probably both of us crying and trying not to show the other person that we're crying. And then we just walked out and just like walked. We didn't say a word in the theater. We just walked out to the parking lot, and we were just like standing next to our car, like we just didn't say a word for like a good 10 or 15 minutes until we finally were like, well,
what's funny is like,
it was good.
Spoiler alert, but I mean, the fact that Logan died, everybody saw coming. It's not like it was a surprise, but it somehow still hit you so hard.
Well, I mean, it was a surprise, like, you don't think it's going to happen necessarily because he's so immortal and, ageless, etc. Like maybe there's a way he could become their leader or something. But no, then they hit you with it, and they hit him with a tree stump.
Oh my God, which brings me to the beginning of Deadpool 2 with the little alarm clock.
Yes, just the little what is it called? Not a merry-go-round. What is it? Little the thing that spin, little music box type thing to spin. Yeah.
Yes. This is live. Shug in the chat. What is up, buddy? For those of you just joining us, we have 8 people in the chat right now, which is pretty awesome. If you didn't know, this is the show without structure. We're just going to talk. Hopefully you guys are going to listen, but if you want to be part of the chat, feel free to do that. But if you want to support this show, if you want to see it more Because this is completely different than our Monday movie news show, which will be tomorrow. Make sure to tune into that at 11 a.m.
I have to interrupt you. We can become famous. Says ZX Max Willow, something from Twitch. We get a lot of bots on Twitch. I think I have to hop over there directly to ban the guy. So I'm gonna do that while we're talking.
Well, just a reminder, you guys see in the bottom left corner there, that is our Streamlabs link. So please donate to keep this show going. And we're going to bring up, actually, when Sean's done banning that guy, why we are looking to get our funds. Because...
Money, please! Money, please!
Money, please. So one of our ideas with this show here, as far as how we want to handle donations, is we want to work towards something. It's not just, you're not just generally giving money to the channel. Think of it as, I don't know, early Christmas gifts or something. But I have my eye on something that is a little frivolous right now, something I can't really justify outright dropping the funds on. And I don't know if Sean found something for himself yet at this point, but we can talk our way through it. For me right now, it's my current obsession due to Audible. I've become absolutely obsessed with Neil Gaiman's The Sandman comic. I've been listening now to Act 2 on Audible, and it is seriously one of the greatest. I'm not even going to say just outright story, because it's so many stories in one, but just the form of storytelling is incredible. The characters are amazing. The imagination, above all, is one of the most astounding things I've ever listened to, heard of, or just witnessed in any manner. And if you look up The Sandman, the artwork is out of this world, and it needs to be. The comic ran from 1989 to 1996, and there's a collection that's all the volumes right now. It's about $150, which, believe it or not, is $100 off its regular price. Its list price is about $250. So right now we have these banners going right here. Got to figure out what Sean wants, but I'm looking to hopefully make our way to $150. When you guys do donations, if you're feeling so generous, just say who it's for. Like, I got a question for Jesse, I got a question for Sean, or this one, donate that, so we can delegate it at the end of the show. But once again, money, please.
I'm gonna look. So I'll just pick a random video game because that's what I would like to buy anyway. Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West, which is the second game to come out. When is the release date? Oh, it's not until February. So we got a long time to for me to make $60 so I can buy this game when it comes out.
Sure.
That'll be my short-term goal.
Pre-order bonus. Yeah, there we go.
Yes, there is a pre-order, and I could do that, shortly. And I think I get a few extra. I think you get like extra armor or something.
If I can get my Sandman goal, then I would love. After that, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, Dying Light 2. I want that game hella bad. I love the original Dying Light. So I'm gonna pop in here. Lost my train of thought. So that you said $60.
Yeah,
a little bit of an echo.
I mean, I think I just muted it.
Oh, okay. Horizon.
I think it is. What is let me see. Pre-order. Let me see how much it is.
Anyways, things to talk about. When I was talking to you earlier, I think, was it you that were saying, did you watch the most recent episode of Ted Lasso?
I have not watched it yet. No, we were going to do that tonight. We got busy doing family stuff.
Fair enough.
I lied. Let's go with $80.
$80? Okay.
There's a collector's edition for $200, but that's not what that's a big boy. What does this come with? I don't know.
Hopefully a chunk of gold and
right? I mean, it's $200. It looks cool.
Called Zero Dawn what?
Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh no, this is just called Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh.
Zero Dawn was the first game, I guess.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
That game does look pretty rad. I've loved the concept of it.
If you haven't played the first game, it's awesome. I love it.
All right, so
once again, I've replayed it again as well.
We're going to track donations here. So if you want to work towards my Sandman collection that I'm very hopeful of, or helping Sean get a pre-order Horizon Forbidden West, If we're just doing chunk by chunk, a dollar here and a dollar there, it helps immensely. And who's to say if we get close to our goal that we might just take it and jump on it ahead of time? Just be
We're
nice to get a little
adults.
bit of help. Yeah.
We have adult money.
I'm an adult. What do you want me to do with this cake? Eat it?
One of the funnest things about being an adult is every birthday every anniversary or Christmas or whatever else is. Hey, what do you want? Like, I don't know. I'm an adult. If I want something, I go buy it.
No, I wish. I understand that saying, but I don't get to use it because I go, I'm an adult. I have bills, so I buy nothing.
Well, that too. But it's like, if there's something, what do you need? And I'm like, I don't need socks. I bought socks last week. Thank you. Something from the heart. Put your heart into it.
Well, I would love to hear from the chat, guys. Like I would love to do some like movie or show listings or just discussions, but we're really just me and Sean talk so much during the week, just at work and things, and we thought it'd be fun to have just a late night chill session. We've had a long day, kick back, have a drink. Right now I'm having caffeine over alcohol because that's just
here's how long my day is. I got sunburnt. I was out playing disc golf earlier and I am so red. I didn't realize how red I had gotten.
The funny thing is, I was probably outside as much as you, and I look like Edward Cullen.
I'm a tomato. Well, that's because you live in the Pacific Northwest.
That's true. It was off and on raining, but I walked for about 2.5 hours earlier, and then I was out again for like another 45 minutes later.
Tell me if this is too loud. Or is it still pretty as I say that as the song ends.
I was going to say, I hear nothing.
As I clicked broadcast, the song ended.
Malcolm's asked me to pick children here. What are your top 5 Disney animation movies? Let's just talk about great animation movies.
The only one I want to talk about is Hercules.
Go off, buddy.
Answer.
Talk about some
Hercules is my number one. It's one of my Hercules or The Incredibles are my number 1 and 2 flip flop as far as favorite animated movies of all time. I guess Lion King was probably a solid number 3.
So you watched on the brackets when I picked Incredibles with no explanation?
Yeah, there's no explanation. It's The Incredibles.
They're like, Jesse, what are you voting for? I was like, Incredibles.
Incredibles, yeah.
Is that it? And I was like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. What was it going against? That was tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah,
what was it even going against?
I can't remember. It was something I did not care about.
No. It's obviously The Incredibles. Malcolm, what is yours? Put it in the chat.
Yeah,
you too, Shug, and who is it? Buck, you're up there too. Yeah, put it in the chat as well if you're still watching. What about you, Ben?
You know what movie I never ever saw until me and Lauren started dating, or Lauren and I started dating? I never saw Tangled on my own.
Okay.
And I finally watched it with her, and I was like, this is fantastic.
It's fun.
And it's funny for how much hype Frozen got. I was like, both Tangled and Moana are leagues better than Frozen. However, Frozen 2 is quite good.
So
I did not care for the first one.
I feel like Disney, second only to Ryan Reynolds, did the ultimate marketing move with releasing Let It Go for Frozen 3 months before the movie actually came out, because that hit the internet and it was just like a phenomenon as far as what the music video was, and then they re-released the movie itself 2 times with a sing-along in the theater. And I took my 3-year-old and then again my 4-year-old daughter 6 months later back to the theater to see it again, just because she already knew every word to the song. So it was well done on their part. Have you seen the theory or whatever that Tangled is in the Frozen universe?
Yeah,
or vice versa? They're in the same.
Ran wild with that. I'm trying to find.
Anna and Elsa's parents were going to Rapunzel's wedding when their ship crashed and they washed up on an island, and then they had.
Does that tie in Tarzan too?
They had a baby who was Tarzan.
Yeah.
Who ended up being Tarzan. There's a whole thing. I think there's another movie in there somewhere, but I can't remember what the other tie-in was.
Let's see here. I'm gonna pull up something. You talk about Disney marketing. I'm gonna do you one better. I have some of the best marketing that Disney ever did. See if you can guess it before I show it. Do you have any ideas?
Oh, I just randomly off the bat. I don't know. Give me a hint. Give me a hint. I'll go from there.
It's 2D animation.
Okay, Vernon, because you're probably watching on Twitch, and so you can't see the other chats from like YouTube and stuff.
I love that he's ready to go.
Yes,
Ryan was pretty good. That's a lot of 3D animation, but I appreciate Lion King is number one. Solid choice. I think it's a lot of people's number one.
I appreciate it. And this was the question, Vernon, for the Twitch chat. What was? I'm sorry. What was your hint again? What did you say?
I said it's 2D animated. It's post 90s, so after 2000s.
Aladdin?
I believe Aladdin is the 90s. All
is
three
it?
of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was post 90s?
All right. I'm just gonna give it to you. Ready?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
We're just not gonna do any volume because copyright and things.
Yeah,
but I can
that's
still
probably
show
better.
you stuff. Share screen. I'm not gonna share system audio because I don't need to do that.
Vern, it's okay. I need viewers on Twitch because I haven't been on Twitch in like 2 or 3 months, so I appreciate you. Oh, Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah. Do you remember these trailers?
No.
Watch this.
Or Stitch ruins everything. Oh, okay. Yes. Where he's hopping around the universes. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. This is their advertising for Stitch, and I thought it was the best thing ever.
Yes. I did see these, yeah.
And they have ones with like Beauty and the Beast too. Oh, Jasmine's into it. That's freaky.
That's perfect.
So good. All right. Anyways, so that's good old Disney stuff. Also, a great Disney film on its own right.
My niece is obsessed with Stitch. Everything Stitch. We've already bought her Christmas presents.
Well, they had like 3 movies and like a show that lasted like I think a couple seasons.
Yes. Yeah, they did have a Disney show. Ohana means family.
Ahana.
I'm not gonna. Me doing Stitch is like Roxy doing a Yoda, which it may also be Stitch if you've ever watched her on SEN.
I sure have. Roxy Strier's Yoda is a thing that happened.
It's amazing. You have to behold it.
Yes, gotta agree with Malcolm there. Obviously,
what are we drinking, by the way? Monster. I have one of those in the fridge. I just didn't want to be up all night. I have Hell or High Watermelon from 21st Amendment, which is a wheat beer because I don't like the aftertaste of an IPA or like a hoppy beer. I'm a wimp like that.
Icky pale ale.
Yeah, it's just I don't have a cultured palate like some other people do.
I had in my head that Treasure Planet and Atlantis or the Lost City of Atlantis or Atlantis Lost, whatever that title is. I had in my head that was universally renowned as just great Disney. And then you go to Rotten Tomatoes and they both get absolutely shat on.
Really?
And I'm like, oh, I thought that was an everything thing, like a commonly known fact that those are phenomenal movies. Let me check here, Vernon.
Oh, Vernon.
Yes, sir. Down payment for some video games for Sean, so we're gonna have to rack that up from Vernon on Twitch.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate it.
And he gives you $10. Thank you so much. So that is an eighth of the way.
I
should for the first show.
I should probably go to my own Streamlabs just in case, because that's yours, and I think mine is on the Twitch. I don't know. I haven't been to it in forever.
We'll see. It showed up on mine, and we're gonna disperse on here. I'll know how to split it up at the end when I see this thing. Anyways, that's what we're dealing with right now. Just a reminder to everyone watching, whether you're new or not. Oh, also, by the way, please hit like if you haven't already. That helps us get more views, helps with the YouTube algorithm and stuff like that, and just helps grow the channel. And if you're new to the channel, brought over here maybe from Sean Wingblade, please subscribe because we're on our way to 200 and we would like to see that happen so we can do more shows and start dedicating more time to doing this. So maybe no structure, but that doesn't mean we're not going to plug because there's still work to be done.
Everything you said.
All of those things, but what is it you say? Everything he said, but smarter.
Yes, I did say that. all the stuff Jesse said, but smarter. in my voice instead. I didn't have anything quippy to say.
Oh, speaking of voices and things, I promise this is related, but Emperor's New Groove, I think, deserves a top spot in Disney animation.
I enjoyed the movie. I think I'm just not head over heels with it as much.
I mean,
Like
that's when the last time was that you
not
saw
like
it, because I feel like,
Oh,
for whatever reason, I think it's funnier now than I did as a kid.
I mean, I'm sure my kids watched it at some point. It wasn't a movie that my kids like glommed onto and wanted to just do a constant rewatch as they did with a lot of movies. So not recently, maybe in the last 5 years or so. Maybe watched it once. Vicariously through them too. Usually I'm listening to movies, not watching movies, because they're watching it on a tablet or something.
Absolutely. Things to discuss. I assume maybe we'll talk about a little more tomorrow on my show with Scott Fox when we talk about kind of geek movie news and TV shows and stuff. But did you have a chance to? I assume since you sent it to me, you did the Sandman teaser.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it doesn't show much. I think I'm mostly excited because I know what it means. And it really is like what they showed is like the first 5 minutes of the Audible. It is the beginning of the story. So you're not missing a whole bunch. I'm very excited for this. I think one of the reasons is I think people have had questions about the casting. Like there's been a little bit of gender bending in some areas or racial bending and things. But what makes me not think twice about any of the changes is the fact that Neil Gaiman is like more hands-on with this property than he's been with anything ever before. And he has kind of tried to make sure that this property has not been adapted several times before because the right people weren't behind it. So he's very in favor of this adaptation, which gives me a lot of hope. There's people complaining about that they race bended death. Here's the thing. Stupid, first of all, because they're like, oh, death in the comics is white. And I was like, yeah, but not Caucasian white. She is like pale, like, you know, like it's not like an ethnicity. The Endless, which is what Dream, Destiny, Death, all these characters are. They're all like pale white, otherworldly. So, like Malekith or something, you know.
Right.
And it just doesn't matter. I think when you're dealing with gods and creatures that don't have like real forms and their forms constantly change, I think people do whatever they want. I don't think that's important. One of the more interesting choices is Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones fame.
That was the other one I was going to ask about. That people were upset about that one as well, or something.
She's playing Lucifer, and what's interesting to me is obviously characters like Tilda Swinton in Constantine playing, I believe, as the angel Gabriel. Okay. But Tilda Swinton and Gwendolyn Christie, I think, both have big time asexual or like sexless vibes, where that they can play masculine characters. I more so am curious about the casting itself, just on like the portrayal, because Gwendolyn Christie has never given me suave. Because obviously, I associate Lucifer with Tom Ellis now. Okay, that's where I'm at. Right. And when I was listening to the Audible, it's Michael Sheen, and he's playing Lucifer very close to the way Tom Ellis did. Mm-hmm. Suave, British charm, snarky, and I don't know if I haven't seen Gwendolyn do that. I'm not gonna say she can't. I just haven't seen her do that before. I really don't care that they changed genders because I'm totally fine with angels and demons and all these things that are otherworldly being genderless.
Yeah, of course.
And they casted a non-binary actor for Desire, and Desire is somebody that flip-flops genders throughout the story. Sometimes male, sometimes female. It's like, perfect. That's exactly how you do that. So I think there's a lot of interesting casting. And I think Tom Sturridge for the cast, the part of Morpheus, I'm not familiar with his background. I think he looks the part 100%. He really looks like Morpheus. And everyone's like, oh, he looks like a vampire or like a pretty boy. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what Morpheus looks like. Sorry to...
Sturridge. Let me see. Oh, okay, so as the main...
Yeah.
As the main person.
I think the only thing they didn't do is give him as much hair as he has in the comics. He's got this big, like, long fro-ish thing in the comics. But I don't think that's realistic. It's like you can never get Goku's hair right. because that kind of hair doesn't exist.
That hair does, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, Charles Dance as.
So they should definitely replace Ezra Miller with this guy. Just across the board with everything.
Just a better looking Ezra Miller.
Well, just
less
problematic Ezra
Yeah,
Miller.
exactly.
I think I've known nothing about this guy,
Hey,
so
you know
I
what?
have no idea.
Or not death, but Dream might be choking some people out in this show.
But see, maybe they were written that way instead of choosing to do it at a bar.
If at the end of the trailer you hear Boyd Holbrook, speaking of Logan, you hear his voice a little bit, and he's playing the Corinthian. I cannot wait to see him in the show because the Corinthian is one of Morpheus's nightmares that he created a long time ago that's escaped the dream realm, and he's just screwing with humanity. And he's like inspiring all the worst people, so like child pedophiles, murderers, rapists, and stuff. Like he's giving them power and making them feel in their heads like they're right and justified and vindicated and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. He's the worst, but he always wears sunglasses. When he takes the sunglasses off, his eyes are two other mouths, and he's horrifying looking. And in the Audible, he's voiced by Sean's gonna scare the crap out of us right now. In the Audible, he's voiced by Riz Ahmed, and he's really terrifying. And basic concept of what the teaser shows you is that there's an occult group, and they are trying to summon and trap death. Because if you trap death, then how can you die, right?
Right.
And the amount of power that you could take from death is immense. Basically, what happens is
I watched Supernatural for 14 seasons. Okay, I'm very, very caught up on my lore when it comes to what happens to death. Okay,
perfect. Essentially, they get Dream instead of death, and that is Morpheus.
Okay.
And the short of it is, in the first couple chapters of the story, Morpheus is held by this occult in this basement, more or less, for 60 years. They can't get him to talk. He won't give them any power, but they steal all the basically Horcruxes, like Harry Potter style. He's got his bag of sand, his helmet that they show in the trailer, his mask helmet thing, and a jewel that he wears around his neck. And they're all various sources of power that he's put part of his soul into. And those all get taken from him. So he's pretty much powerless, trapped in this basement. And that's the starting premise. And that's kind of all they show in the teaser. The teaser's fine, but I want a full trailer. And the reason for that is this story gets wacky. When you start into the dream world, it's all over the place. Like you have bending landscapes and stuff. Like it makes Doctor Strange, like the movie Doctor Strange, look like child's play. And so I'm like, all right, Netflix, how much money are you willing to spend on this? I like the little effect you had with a little twisty energy thing that dropped him out of it. I was like, but you're going to have to go big. You can't cheapen out of this. There's a reason Sandman hasn't been made for decades. But that being said, I'm very, very excited. Pat's got a question for you.
Was there the 15th was the last short one? Yeah, I watched them all, but it didn't work for my joke. I forgot how many seasons there were at the time. I'm excited. I'm always excited about properties just because we're both children of the 90s, and a lot of us are in this kind of group where I grew up with X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman the animated series, Superman, but only essentially the the A-list stars, I guess. I never read the comics of much of anything, so I'm not well versed in a lot of the B, C, D level comic heroes and especially graphic novels. Excuse me. So if it didn't have a cartoon, I probably have never heard of it, or a movie, obviously, as the 2000s and 2010s grew. So something like when Guardians first came out, I knew what the fuck are the Guardians of the Galaxy?
That's right. And I was a comic fan, and I still was very not familiar, outside of a couple appearances in games.
Yeah, and it's what the hell are these guys? And I had even Iron Man, I had heard of Iron Man, but he wasn't one of the A-listers. I didn't watch him often. So stuff like Sandman, where I've heard of it because of the whole Joseph Gordon-Levitt talk a few years back, where he was involved and
and if
all
you
that stuff.
follow Koi Chandra and stuff, he's a big fan.
Yes, I mean I watched Collider Heroes like from its inception, so I've heard of it via these shows that I watch, but I don't know much about I've never deep dived into the characters, but I'm down to watch them. I liked Cloak and Dagger. It was on for a short time. Even stuff I didn't watch was it the Runaways? No,
I watched a couple episodes. It wasn't quite grabbing me.
I didn't glom onto that very much.
Because you see the girl with the Egyptian Ankh on there is Death. So Death is kind of like portrayed as a gothic person. I think the person to her right is Destiny. Destiny walks around with a book. Kind of think of Kang. Has like all the writing of like what has happened and what will happen all in one book. Morpheus obviously in the middle there. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure to the right, but then you have Desire. As you can see, Desire is pretty much genderless, and Delirium. And Delirium like cannot focus on anything. Kind of crazy, kind of like essentially chaos. And then the really scary, hideous one there is Despair. And Despair, just listening about her, is nightmare fuel. She has like a little fish hook on one of her fingers, and she gets off on like causing people despair, obviously.
Yeah.
And she'll like rake it down her face and like cut her skin open, and it'll like reseal, and she'll keep doing it because she's a freaking masochist. It's creepy stuff.
That sounds
very interesting. Yeah. So anyways, Sandman. I could talk about Sandman for an hour, but I did want to draw some attention to it. Obviously, I'm a little hypocritical now to be like, oh, what do you mean you haven't read Sandman? As I just started it like a week ago.
But, what do you mean you haven't read this thing that I just started listening to the entire omnibus of?
I'm that guy though. I did it with Dune. Like I listened to the Audible for Dune shortly after the first trailer came out, and after I read it, every time I ask somebody, I'm like, "Oh, have you read Dune?" And they're like, "Oh no." I'm like, What do you mean?"
What are you doing with your life? It's a masterpiece. I don't know much about Dune in any way, shape, or form. I had seen bits and pieces of the movie, I guess, like way back when, but definitely haven't. I don't know much about what the story. I know it has to do with spices and stuff.
Dude. Even after reading the book, I watched the David Lynch movie. I'm like,
yeah,
this is pretty rough.
Wasn't Sting in it?
Yeah,
Sting was
in
there.
Underwear.
Right? Yeah. I've seen
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart was in it?
Yeah, Patrick Stewart has played the role that Josh Brolin's taken over.
Okay. I know the guy from Twin Peaks. I don't know who else was in the original. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of the main actor's name. It's like Richard something or Chris something. I know those names are not at all close.
So it's funny. So I showed my wife, I asked, the list of upcoming movies through December. Hey, which of these? She always gets mad. She hates seeing movies on opening weekend or opening night because you always get people in the theater that want to clap. When the hero comes on screen for the first time, everyone's clapping. I'm like, no, shut the fuck up. We're missing dialogue. Everyone be quiet. So she hates that, to her core. She will not see a movie opening weekend. Me, because I live on the internet,
we are opposite
shit. Yes, I'm like, I need to see it before. I need to see it a week prior, and then again on opening night, and then again sometime that weekend, because I don't want to be spoiled.
Really quickly, it's Kyle McLaughlin.
Yes,
is the main star of Dune.
Yeah, the name sounds familiar. So she gets mad every time I go to the movies on a Thursday night to see whatever new movie comes out. She was pissed because I went and saw Shang-Chi without her. And I'm like, you don't like going opening weekend. I didn't think to invite you to our group function because you don't want to be there. She's like, I just want the invite. I'm like, oh, of course you do. Okay, I understand that. My bad. So anyway, I was running through the list of movies that are coming out. Dune was one of them. I was like, do you want to see Dune? She goes, what is that? I don't know what that is. Okay, let's watch the trailer.
The biggest uphill battle that Dune has is that it's heady, it's dense. Mm-hmm. It is not popcorn sci-fi. This is not derogatory, but Star Wars. Star Wars is a 4-quadrant franchise. Mm-hmm. Everybody and their mother goes and sees. Right. Dune's not that. it's not easy consumption. It is, you have to pay attention. There's a lot of lore. It's going to be thick. It's going to test your imagination and what you consider to be like typical sci-fi.
It's not for her. So as soon as I played the trailer, Zendaya is the first thing that pops on screen. I was like, "Look, it's your girl. It's Zendaya. Come on, look. There's Aquaman. He's in here." And I was trying to. I was
just
trying
the
to
best cast of the last 15 years.
I was trying to get her on board, and she's like, "No, maybe the next Marvel movie." I'm like, "All right, cool. Let me show you the trailer for Eternals." And so I start playing her, and you know how the trailers are very similar in like tone and feel.
As far as Dune and Eternals?
Yes, because there's just this epic story type of feel. And she's
Eternals is probably going to be the densest Marvel movie that's ever come out.
She turns and looks at me. She goes, "This is a Marvel movie?" I'm like, "Yes, keep watching. Look, hold on. The superpowers are coming. Just wait. Just give it a few minutes. Give it a minute. The superpowers are coming. I promise you, the King of the North's going to start shooting laser vision out of it.
I just imagine Lex Luthor. The red capes are coming. The red capes are coming.
She wasn't on board with that either. She's like,
oh no.
So I haven't hooked her, but that's fine. I mean, she doesn't want to go anyway, so it's what it is.
I'm assuming she'll go see Spider-Man at least.
Oh yeah, she's all for Spider-Man. She's down for Spider-Man.
All for the Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. I love the memes on the internet where it's like basically summarizing a movie and very quickly, where Spider-Man's like, wait, won't any of my friends know? And then Doctor Strange is like, yeah, you just tell them again. Like, it's not a big deal. Like we don't have to change the spell. You just tell your people again. It's not a big deal. All right, the movie's over.
What else I'm not a Bond guy. I don't know if that's a character flaw or not.
We're going next Thursday with our normal group in IMAX.
You know what I'm gonna go see this coming Friday, probably not Thursday night because of work, but I'll probably see it Friday. I'm begrudgingly gonna go see Let There Be Carnage, and I'm telling you, I didn't like the first trailer or the second, and these TV spots look worse and worse. I sent you a thumbnail image, and I was like, "Is he at a rave? Is Venom at a fucking rave?"
I saw it. There's a TV right above me, and I had seen it actually just maybe a half an hour ago, the newest TV spot or whatever. And I'm like, oh, all right. And I enjoyed the first one, but I had zero expectations because I had seen it later than I didn't go see it opening weekend, that one. So I did not have any expectations whatsoever. I forgot it was coming out on the 1st because they moved it up, wasn't it? 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks behind.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, Shang-Chi succeeded. We can too." I'm like, "Yes, but what if your movie sucks?"
Right. So that one I probably won't go see Thursday, but I'll see it sometime opening weekend.
I was talking to, for those of you that know Coy, Jean-Dre, I was talking to him, and he got to see Venom early. And I was like, "What did you think?" And all I could get from him is he's like, "It was wild. I can't believe a movie like this was made." I'm like, there's a lot of ways to take that.
All right, Coy. Don't be so coy.
How cryptic.
You're right.
Choosing to take that as... Because he really likes the first Venom, which makes me not trust his judgment.
It was the M&M. The Venom. Scored.
I feel like they're trying to make
found
this
out
movie.
by Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah. I feel like they're trying to make this movie a comedy. I was like, okay, well, it needs to be funnier then, because like all the things are supposed to be like a turd in the wind. Right. That's not funny.
I never saw Mowgli, so I don't know Andy Serkis's directing style, or quality rather. Because there's directors with style, right? You know, a Zack Snyder movie, you know, a Michael Bay movie, you know, a Fincher movie or whatever. Like, what is Andy Serkis's style? And does it fit Venom as a character or a comic book movie as a genre?
I've heard that Andy has a really hard time behind the scenes, and there's people running around. It's a real circus. Okay. Yeah. I'll see myself out.
All right, I'm gonna. Actually, I'm gonna go. We both just leave the stream.
Oh, so did somebody in the chat. Wait, no, come back. It's not over.
Pat said, "I can't handle this. I'm shutting it down."
For the one other person in the chat, maybe if it's not just me and Sean in the chat right now,
it must be just me and you.
You guys could find a link. Visit either of our Twitters. Reshare this, get this shared around so we can get some more people in here, get some more people in the conversation. If not, we don't really care because me and Sean can probably go on for hours talking about whatever bullshit we see fit.
We could start just running some questions. We'll start doing some study questions.
Got some questions. I did promise random trivia. It's in the intro. If you don't believe me, I could play through the whole intro again. You can listen to
really?
that beauty. Yeah, I said random trivia and things.
Whatever else. Things.
Hey, Quick and Real fans, Jesse Swift and Sean Wingblade here, welcoming you to our late night special, the Swift Wings Speakeasy. For the next couple hours, anything goes.
This is actually recorded by a very good friend of mine, Garrett. Garrett Schuster.
We should review a 3-decade-old movie. This is the place to make it happen. This show is designed for all of us to just get back
The music is?
No, it's talking about the audio.
Oh.
Yeah, I said the word trivia. It was in there.
Okay.
I mean, not me. I mean, Garrick, the guy that I hired to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Alter ego, Garrett.
Yeah. Lead Tasso.
He's like, oh, Lead Tasso. Here, he puts on his sunglasses. Does he pop? Don't spoil the episode. Does he pop back in the most recent episode?
What's up?
Lead Tasso. Does he pop in the most recent episode?
No,
or just that one time. We need to watch it sometime tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, it's. I think the last episode with we'll just call it the beard episode was not Lauren or I's favorite, and this one feels right back into the swing of things. I didn't hate it, but it was just like not what you signed into Ted Lasso for. Yeah,
the wife and I both looked at each other and was like,
Yeah,
I mean, it was interesting. It was such a random departure that you didn't kind of expect it coming. So
well, we're watching consistently like 3 or 4 shows right now. We're watching Wellington, Paranormal, Ted Lasso, What If, and What We Do in the Shadows. And we were disappointed by all 4 shows in 1 week. We're like, wow, woof.
It's better than watching all the CW shows, which we've stopped.
Yeah, I stopped a while ago.
I pretty much watch strictly HGTV because it's usually just on in the background. So any like home improvement show, I'm always like, I'm going to do that at my house. That's a fantastic idea. And then I never do. I never pick up a hammer and do anything. And then any comic book show that's pretty much coming out. But I've gotten so far away. Like we have like 15 Supergirls to watch or something, including I think dating back to last season. And I'm just like, I'm never going to catch up on these. I just don't care. I watched Superman and Lois just because I'm a Superman guy.
I sure started it.
As seen by this. And I liked it. It was definitely the best of the CW offerings currently. But yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. I appreciate that it didn't feel super CW. It felt like a Superman show.
I think it had to do with like the cinematography, like the filming style. It was different than kind of what we were used to with every back street in Vancouver that they film at over and over again. It actually felt different. Did you watch? Do you watch Stranger Things? I don't know if we've ever talked about it.
No, we've never talked about Stranger Things. So when the first season came out, it was all the rave. Everyone was obsessed with Stranger Things. So I was late to the party on watching it, and I watched it, and I was like, it didn't do much for me.
Okay,
I kind of liked it. Season 2, I feel like I liked a little more, except for the fact that Sean Astin died brutally, which is a sin that's unforgivable. Spoiler alert,
right?
If you haven't watched it. And then season 3, I think I actually loved. By the time we got to season 3, I was like, no, now I'm digging this. And that teaser, I assume that's what you're leading to, is the teaser for season 4.
No, I wasn't, but we can bring that up. Yes,
we can bring that up for a second. It seemingly, from what I've heard, there might be ties to the Upside Down, but I like that this feels like after 3 seasons of kind of circling around the same thing, they're doing something a little different.
Right.
And that's exciting to me because I love the cast of characters. I think the writing's really good. It's a fun show.
Yeah.
But I think it would feel tired if it's the same thing again. If we're doing Demi Corrigans and the Upside Down for a 4th season in a row, it's time for something new. So I think it looks good. I'm interested.
They're moving on with the characters' lives, but still remembering that, hey, all these crazy events happened. We're not going to forget them, but we gotta grow up eventually, and stuff happens. What I was going to get to was season 2 when they had that one-off episode with number 8. I think the kid was 8 or 7. They had that one-off, bottle episode, and I actually liked that episode. A lot of people hated on that a lot because it completely went away from the normal kid's story. Excuse me. And so comparing it to like the Ted Lasso episode, with Beard, where it was this one random bottle episode that didn't really have much to do with it. I don't know. I was going to say, I kind of think Stranger Things did it better, in my opinion, on that front. But
so yeah, sometimes I think it's interesting or exciting when a show that has a certain formula decides to break the mold. They did that in Avatar: The Last Airbender a couple times. One of them being they had an episode where it was like 3 separate stories following like the groups of the main characters, and they were just going on missions that didn't really matter except for character development.
Okay.
It's not like it was part of the overarching story. They just like, one of them was I don't know how familiar you are with Avatar, but you had Toph and Katara, and they went and got Toph's blind and never really cared about her appearance, and Katara takes her out and lets her get all dolled up and makeup done and stuff, and they have a bonding experience. They were never close before that. One of the saddest scenes in the entirety of the show comes from Iroh visiting his son's grave and like singing a song, and it's the best. And then there's Appa, the large flying bison, is missing for like an entire season almost, and there's an episode that finally catches you up on what happened after he disappeared. And so there's hardly any dialogue in the episode, and it's just like a series of unfortunate events happening over and over again to Appa. Again, it's a great episode. So sometimes it really works. But yeah, I love Beard. I can't say any one person other than Roy Kent is my favorite character because I love that entire cast. Everybody's fantastic. So I would have liked if they could have maybe checked in with other characters a little bit. Have a Beard-focused show, but just following him around, I think for 40 minutes, 45 minutes, however long the episodes are, I felt myself kind of losing focus on the show.
Do you subscribe to any of the deeper meanings behind like what was going on with him or to him throughout that show, throughout that episode rather?
As far as like, everybody's got some kind of like their psychological thing going on. Yeah. And I think so that was interesting. I liked, he was feeling the pressure kind of being the second hand to Ted, and he was seeing kind of illusions, and it was an interesting character exploration for sure. And I think it'll affect how we all see Coach Beard moving forward. So I don't think it's a worthless episode. I don't think it's senseless. I just think that the overall structure of it didn't work as good as some of the other episodes do. That's but fair. It's still like I wouldn't say skip it.
Yeah, it provides some needed backstory, I suppose, about what he does on his own time.
Yeah, which is always going to be fun, and makes you feel just as confused as Coach Beard does about Jane.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
So anyways, comments. You guys are a little quiet down there. Anybody, I saw we bumped up a couple viewers. So if you guys haven't already, please like the video, and you see down there, so we got streamlabs.com/flickandreel. Ask us some questions, keep the conversations going. And in case you didn't know, we do have goals going on for each of us right now. Sean wants to pre-order Horizon Forbidden West. So if you guys want to contribute to that, that would be awesome. I want to get the entire DC Neil Gaiman's Sandman collection. It's about $150. So Not something that has to happen today, but that's what I'm working towards. So any contributions, we'll answer your question on here and appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much.
All that.
All of that, but smarter.
It's good. It's gonna be my comment on everything.
Yeah. I'm gonna be doing a full review and dissection of like Dune. I'm gonna be just talking straight for 30 minutes. I'm gonna take a breath and you're like, what he said, but smarter.
What he said, but even smarter. That's my review. That's comical. What do you want to go into what you've been doing lately before, you haven't been on your channel much? You had a big wedding happen.
I sure did.
Do you want to talk? Did you get any of the pictures? Oh, look, we got rings.
Mine's actually, I don't know if the camera will show up on it. I really like mine a lot. With Lauren, actually with the whole wedding, we kind of went for a foresty vibe. Her ring is very almost elven. We had a big wooden pergola arch thing built. That was really incredible. I wish I had some more pictures of it to show. But for me, I got this ring is kind of, let's see if I focus on it. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. It's like Nordic. It's got little designs on it.
Little designs.
It looks kind of like Mjolnir. It reminds me of Mjolnir. It's one of the reasons that I picked it out.
I don't have any designs on mine, but I feel like that's such a common like you got the centerpiece and then the two outside that are just like differing slightly. For male rings, it seems to be the common thing. I guess unless you get like a gold band or something.
Let's see. We got one image from the back. This is let's see if I can get this. There's a first look there. I don't know if I can.
Wait, where's the Batman tux I sent you?
Oh, did it get lost in the mail?
Did you not wear that on the day? I searched every Spencer's and Hot Topic to find that.
All right, let's see if it will adjust there. There's the pergola. So we walked through that, and then up on the hill we had an arch that was built that we got married under. But I didn't help build it initially, but it got delivered over onto the property, and I helped put that together with the guy, and it was a lot of work. Ladders and carrying those big logs up there, those are straight out of like real woods. Yeah. Heavy. Nice. Oh, yeah, there's a little bit. There's a picture of let's see if it just there's a ladder. Working on it.
You had to hoist it up. How did the I guess the event of the day go off? Everything smooth, or did it start torrential downpour rain and a hurricane hit? Or
weather-wise, it couldn't have been more perfect. It was sunny, a little cloudy, temperature was comfortable, nobody was too hot, and we were worried the entire time leading up to the day. It's September in Washington. Is it going to rain? Is it going to be 90 degrees? We don't know. I think it ended up being like mid to high 70s with cloud cover, and I'm like, I'll take it.
Nice.
100%. See if this shows up. This is an art. I don't know how to. There we go. Get real close. This is an art done by our friend Tori that we commissioned. That was it was put up on like a little easel during the wedding. It's pretty cool stuff. I wish I had more pictures. We're still waiting on our photographer. He's got like 2 weddings ahead of us. So
there's a lot. My wife's a photographer, and there's so much that goes into editing. It's like every night I'm like, hey babe, what are you doing? I'm editing these baby photos and or these birthday pictures or whatever it is, graduation photos. Like, oh, okay.
We had them for 8 hours, so there's going to be some stuff.
There's going to be a lot to go through for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to like a week ago. I was like, hey, can we get like 5 pictures, like something I can just show you? So we're still waiting on getting something. But yeah, it was really good. It still feels like we spent so much time stressing and preparing for it. I still feel like I'm waiting for the wedding. I have to wake up sometimes and be like, oh, it happened.
You do so much stressing, and you forget some. You can easily. I don't know if you did, but the plural public you can forget to enjoy it yourself and remember that the day is for you and not anyone else. They're not going to care about all the little things that you're going to care about.
Oh yeah, I had to fight with my mom for months because we elected that our food for our guests was going to be pizza because we had so many things to stress about and deal with. I was like, I'm not hiring a caterer. We're going to go get like 10 pizzas or whatever, and that's food. Like,
we're going to Little Caesars. That's that.
That was our one rule. I was like, anything but Little Caesars.
Okay,
because
I mean,
that's a bad look. I think we got Papa John's or something.
It's garbage pizza. I hate Little Caesars.
I don't hate it, but it's like it's fine when you're like on your way home and nobody knows what to eat, and it's like, I'm gonna pass the Little Caesars. So you bring home like a Little Caesars pepperoni or something, and everybody eats it.
Right. Just something. It's literally just sustenance to get in your body. Yeah, we had a local barbecue place that was going to come cater, and we had invited 100 and I guess I will call it even 100 people, 110 maybe at the most, but we had like 40 people that didn't show up. And the barbecue
40?
place, like 40, yes. There was one group specifically of my wife's cousins, and
we had less than 40 people at our wedding,
like kids and stuff. Oh, we ended up with like 60. But a bunch of people were like, who so and so plus one, etc. And then we had like just one group of 10 that just didn't show up. And so we had all this extra food, and it was a barbecue place, so it was on like a platter, like a walkthrough. Hey, grab a plate and just slop it on your plate and move on to the tables. And then they tried to pack it up and leave. And my dad, who paid for it, was like, no, you better put that in its go container. We're going to throw it in the freezer. Like, you have a lot of meat.
Rent out porta potties?
No, we were we did a community center at like a park. So like a little auditorium basically. And so there was restrooms in the building.
We had to rent porta potties called like Pretty Potties from a place called like Royal Restrooms, and my God, they were so new and so nice. It still smelled like fiberglass on the inside.
Mm-hmm. I've been in a few of those at like I used to be a valet, so I worked weddings, and they would have those out on like the ranch or the vineyard or wherever we were doing the valet work for. Those things are like so crisp and clean.
What was great, what sucked for me is like before everyone showed up, I walked in one. I was like, wow, this is so nice. And it was so cool. And everyone was laughing at me because it was one of the things I was most excited about. But then I went like 7 hours without going to the bathroom because my God, when was I going to stop moving?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so like, I never went. I never used it. And I was like, this just cost me like $1,300. I never even took a piss.
For your first anniversary, Lauren's gonna just rent you out. Porta potty.
I really badly need to take a shit in a fancy porta potty. So if you could make that's gonna be my third goal. So we got the first one, Sandman. The second one's going to be Dying Light 2. The third one's going to be I need to shit in a fancy porta potty.
We know how much you wanted this.
Yeah.
I got this for you. Have you ever been to San Francisco?
Dude, no. The amount of times I've left Washington State is depressing.
They might have it in other places. I've just only ever seen them in San Francisco. There's bathrooms out on the main pier walk between there's piers.
As a guy, anywhere could be a bathroom.
True, but no,
that's why Seattle smells like hot piss.
Building restrooms, you walk in and it has a rotating in it, so the door closes and then it opens back up, and it's that's like a 8-foot circle, basically circumference, and there's a sink and whatever, and it's just like on the sidewalk. Just randomly. So they're not just like porta potties. They're plumbed buildings. But because you're in San Francisco, there's definitely a bum living in it. So that happens. There's a lot of homeless here in California.
Of course, as you do.
Yes, basically.
How about this real quick? I believe you have a match on Tuesday.
This guy? Yeah, I do.
Yeah. For those of you watching either now or later, Mr. Sean Wingblade, who's just been crushing his way through the First Class League Inner Geekdom division, we have a guest. But really quick, tell us about your match that you have coming out. Or not coming out. You haven't filmed it yet because Twitch does everything live because you guys are cool guys like that. You don't have to sit on a match, which is kind of fun.
Everything is a live event when it comes to the FCL. I don't get to do live events in person. We do live events on the computer. So I guess it's halfway like they a few of the events they did for the Show-9 last season or whatever. So I am going against the Flying Cow. He's a interesting character, and he's quite good. And then on the undercard, David Janjoyan versus Melion. I don't remember the guy's first name, but he's a cool dude. I watched his other match, and he knew a lot. They were really good.
Smack talk. So now you got to be like, when I'm done with you, you're going to be the Crying Cow.
Ooh. That cow is going to be grounded. Ground beef.
Got to turn the Flying Cow into grounded beef. Perfect. That's what you're trying to do.
He's pretty good. I'm not taking him lightly. We'll see what happens, but I'm excited to test my mettle. And that will be Tuesday. And our main event, we're in the main event, so we're going at 4:00 on the Schmodown's Twitch channel.
Awesome. Can't wait to give that a watch. Sean, do me a solid here. I definitely as you can see, we have our guests down there. I am going to bring them on, and if you can just do a retweet or something for our link and let everyone know who we have coming on as a guest here, that would be uber cool. But for those of you watching again, now or later, I am very excited to introduce to my channel, I believe for the first time, the one, the only Video Drew and Eric in the background.
What's up, Eric in the background? What can you ask for more rather than him be in the foreground? But
well, you can ask for me to drop this thing so it's not covering you up.
Hey, love it when people have to take down their banners for me. How are you guys doing?
What's good? It's more important for us to have you on the show than it is for people to click Streamlabs and donate. But that is also important. Make sure to do that.
Yeah, we're just sitting here. We're eating. He's eating McDonald's, so we're gonna be doing some mukbanging. So we just got our dinner, and I got. Let's see if I can hold it up. It's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that has been dipped in cornflakes and then deep fried.
What? Okay. Where did you make that? Or
I was about to say I don't think McDonald's delivers that. No.
But the place that does deliver that. Let me chew. Chewing. Okay. This place, I forget what the name of it. It's called Not Shape. What is it? It's like not joking around, not jellying around. I don't know. It's some like pun on peanut butter and jelly. And all they do is make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And this place popped up on like Postmates along with 4 or 5 other places like the same night. It was like let me find the exact name of it. Mm-hmm. It's something weird. And then it was like Burger Bitch also popped up. And then like someplace it was like some pun on like chicken things. So Eric went to go pick up this sandwich tonight and he realized it's all one place. It's just one place that has wild. Like 7 different names. And like, it's just one chick working behind the counter and like making whatever food item. But each one is like a very specific, each restaurant is like highly specific. Mm-hmm. So one is just peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. One is just like burgers. One is just like, I think like hot dogs. And so they really only need like 7 staples and they create like restaurants around each one. And just
tell me why that doesn't sound like Stoner Haven. Like, you know, somebody's walking around at like 2 a.m. just baked.
It's open till 2 a.m. So it absolutely is Stoner Haven.
That's what it is.
I think we have one of the, maybe not quite as eclectic as that, like where it's multi, but we have a peanut butter and jelly place up here in Sacramento that does very similar type stuff.
$13 for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yes, expensive. Jesse, you're up north. Have you ever been to Biscuit Bitch in Seattle?
Oh my God, we have that here.
Yeah. Oh, is there?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Even though Seattle's like the biggest city that I'm near, I hate going out there, and I'm rarely there. The only thing I've done in Seattle is Beechers, like cheese. They do like mac and cheese, and it is like cream your pants, male or female. You're gonna clean up on aisle U. It's so good.
I'm realizing Biscuit Bitch is not here. I was thinking of Egg Slut, which is here.
Okay.
Egg Slut. I have been to Biscuit Bitch though in Seattle. It's very good, very strong.
I am myself
been there one time.
Biscuit Bitch. So.
I'm an Egg Slut personally.
We were doing a Starbucks crawl because there's so many in downtown Seattle. And
That
Biscuit
sounds
Bish
fun.
we found, and we're like, yeah, we have to go here in the morning. It was a good time.
Yeah, they have like the things I hadn't until college. I never had like what they call biscuits with gravy. Like that's not a dish we had in Delaware. I said that like pejoratively, but like we just didn't have it in Delaware. It is what it is. And I tried it for the first time when I was at Oberlin, and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Like you put like cream of bacon on top of like a biscuit, and it's just so good. I guess it's technically sausage, but it's like so good. So I'm not sure if I'm introducing you guys to the concepts of biscuits with gravy, but definitely check it out. Highly recommend.
Definitely, that's a common staple at like a lot of diners and stuff around here, at least. Like it's
Where
like
are you
a
again?
country up in Sacramento. So
Okay,
not too far away, but it's
Not too
I've had it a lot. Biscuits and gravy are really good if they make them right. It depends on the place you go.
Yeah, it's probably like grits and whatever. What do they serve grits with? I don't know. I'm trying to think of my cousin Vinny. Grits is the side, right? It's like a grain, so it's like with bacon probably and eggs. Grits with toast.
Yeah, grits is like a morning thing. It's kind of similar to oatmeal, I suppose.
I literally only know it from my cousin Vinny, but I feel like I have a very strong idea of what it tastes like in my head.
Well, grape nuts are pretty gritty. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts.
Perfect.
I don't know how I ended up getting jelly on my arm, but I did. Are you lying down? Oh. Hey, we have our little doggies here. So what you guys talking about? We walked in a little bit on the talking about the match coming up. You're playing the Mad Cow.
Indeed.
Flying cow.
The flying cow. Yes. He's mad. No, we were just giving a quick little shout out. We had discussed many things tonight, including Jesse's wedding. He just got married.
Jesse, how was your wedding?
It was really great. 10 out of 10 wouldn't recommend the prep again, but the day was pretty wonderful.
Well, you know what they say about weddings? It fits the size of the purse. No, that's not what they say. What they say is, what someone told me was, it's like a purse. And I think they're saying this because I carry around giant bags wherever I go. But they were like, it can fit, like it will be full with whatever you put in it or something. But as in relation to time, it sounds like I'm having a stroke. So what they meant was, if you have a year to plan a wedding, it will take a year's worth of time and stuff and effort to plan it. If you have a month to plan a wedding, it will take a month's worth of stuff to plan and get ready for it. Like it will only take as much time and effort as the length of time until you get married. So I would always suggest getting married like the day he proposes. Just make sure
You're saying we should have flown to Vegas and just...
Yeah.
If you know now, do it now. Just do it.
Am I going to say that it was worth a year of my life when I had a really cool wedding up in Bainbridge, up in near Seattle, but a year worth of time of like freaking out over like dinner table settings and like flower arrangements being like dove instead of off-white, and just turning in, not even to a bridezilla, but just someone who did not want to be talking about weddings for a whole year of time.
Our engagement was 9 months.
Okay. So did it take 9 months to plan?
I would say about 3 months of procrastinating and 6 months of put a gun in my mouth.
Wow. And I imagine how she felt.
Oh, I don't have to. We are very close, so I didn't have to use imagination.
We have always thought about having a Pokemon themed wedding, but I meant as of August I got into Pokemon. But I think like that'd be cool and original and unique, and I don't think anyone's ever done it before.
Only if you guys do Jesse and James waves, but that might be weird. Are they siblings? I never really quite understood.
Wait, who?
Jesse and James.
Team Rocket.
No, but they are like platonic best friends because Jesse is straight and James is gay. Is what my read of that is.
Is that canon?
I don't know. I think it kind of is canon. I only watched the first series, but like it is known that James does not want to get married.
He's also very comfortable with cross-dressing.
Really comfortable with cross-dressing. He loves to like play dress up. Yeah, that's exactly it. His best friend's this chick and a talking cat. So he's like, he's good with hanging out with, if not diving into pussy. And then he eschewed a life of being rich to not have to marry somebody that looks exactly like the person he spends all his time with. So I don't know.
I think that the real fault is we never got the appropriate time to develop that part of their storyline.
Yeah. I mean, I also just think, like, I don't know, you can't say this, but his laugh, he has this like whinnying horse neigh.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there. I just think it's very like dandy-ish. He's a dandy. We can say that.
A little bit of a hard left. That 3D recreation they basically did for like the Pokemon movie.
Yeah.
Talk about something that did not justify its own existence.
I thought
you didn't see it.
Never mind.
Yeah, basically they did a 3D recreation of Mewtwo Strikes Back, the movie that you did see.
Well,
They just did it like in like the weird 3D
Okay.
animation.
that is cool sounding, I guess.
Nothing about it was improved.
I have to look it up.
Okay. Here's my thing though. How many times have they booted that original like first episode into something else? Because we just watched a movie that was like Variant Ash. It was like the same story
Yeah.
as the opening of Pokemon.
I forgot
But
that
then,
one's
like,
called. But I know
there-
what you're talking about.
It was it's Pokemon I Choose You.
Pokemon I Choose You.
And it was like the first like 20 minutes, like there's a retelling of the first episode, but then it branches off into like a Variant timeline where he never met Brock and Misty, and he met like these two other people.
And he's nicer to Pikachu,
Yeah.
and the Charmander is like nicer and like helps him, and then they go find an Oho or something.
Yeah.
The whole thing is just different, and he decides he doesn't want to be a Pokemon trainer. He wants to be like a Pokemon master, which sounds worse. But it means that he wants to be best friends with them and not have them fight.
Well, all Pokemasters
Okay.
have Pokeslaves.
That's
how that works.
literally an uncomfortable truth about Pokemon.
the Pokemon with
True.
jobs.
Pokemon with jobs,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think one of my favorite images of in Detective Pikachu was a Machamp that was like directing traffic.
Mhm.
Yes, that's pretty good. I liked I didn't really know Pokemon that well, but I thought it was really cool when the guy turned out to be a Jinx. Oh, not Jinx. Ditto.
I did.
I was really scared when the guy
That
from
was-
You're the Worst.
That was one of the only things I enjoyed, and I didn't love Detective Pikachu, but when they like took the glasses off and I saw Ditto eyes, I started laughing so hard because it was nightmare fuel.
I was about to
was
say the
so
same thing.
good.
Yes, 100%.
Also, you have to understand that I didn't know anything about Pokemon at that point, so I saw that and I was just like, oh shit, things just got real up in this Pikachu world.
It's like when you're watching a horror movie and you're so scared and uncomfortable, you start laughing with your arms like this. You're like, oh.
I don't think that. What do I do when a movie gets scary? I just start screaming. Like I
Yeah.
start screaming at anything, like the sound cue or anything.
Yeah.
There's one time when we were rewatching Cabin in the Woods for like the 8th time for a quiz or something, and I was like, it's gonna be so scary when she opens up like the door to the basement when it flies open, and flew open, and I just went like so loud.
Do you ever get yourself pre-scared?
Yes.
I'm not a huge horror movie fan, but like if you've seen one more than once, you know when it's about to come. So you're prepping,
Mhm.
you're tense, you're like ready for it.
It's how I live my life, basically, in a pre-scared state of like a jump scared all the time. We just finished Midnight Mass, which is the new miniseries by Mike Flanagan, and it is tremendous.
Is
Like
it
I
great?
would,
I was wondering because it's from the guy that did the Haunting series.
Haunting in Hill House, and then he did Doctor Sleep, and he did
Dr.
Gerald's
Sleep was
Game.
so damn good.
Yeah, he did Doctor Sleep. He did that movie Oculus, which is actually like way better than it should be. So is his other movie Ouija Origin of Evil, the Ouija sequel.
Mhm.
Very strong. Prequel, sorry. Yeah, right. He's a phenomenal director, and this miniseries is like what I would hold up as like why TV better than movies sometimes.
Yeah.
Just hot take, TV better than movies sometimes. When Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, we binged it over the weekend, and we're probably going to do a review for it soon on our podcast network thing. And it's it was fantastic. It's 7 episodes, so not too
Oh, that's
long.
nice.
It's
So
very like
about
Stephen
7
King.
hours, I'm imagining.
Yeah,
Yeah, about 7 hours, but like they fly by. Like I
Mhm.
know if you're studying for a match or something, it can sort of feel like, ugh, who has time? But like you remember how good Haunting of Hill House was when it came out and everyone like flipped out, or like Doctor Sleep.
I couldn't get into Bly Manor as much as I got into Hill House.
yeah. Bly
Yeah.
Manor was definitely not as strong as Hill House. Yeah,
This is like the strongest thing he's ever done, I would say, by like a wide shot. Like this
Okay.
series, and it has like so much to say, and it's like also like it's not super scary. Like I wouldn't say that it's like
Well, it's like
scary.
Hill House isn't terrifying, but it's unsettling.
It's unsettling, and he does all that stuff in the background, which I thought was so cool about Hill House. He had all those ghosts, and like if you like freeze frame any like given scene in that, there's like two ghosts. It's like
It's one of the
always-
most rewatchable shows because once you finish it, you go back and rewatch it, and you see so many things, like so much foreshadowing that you didn't see before, and it
Yeah.
makes it all that much more enjoyable.
Well, also he does like he's very like technically he's both like I don't know how to say this exactly. That sounds like I'm just like doing have a hardy on for him. A hardy on. That makes it better and more appropriate to just say a hardy on. Hardy boys on for Mike Flanagan.
Tom Hardy on.
Tom Hardy on.
Tom Hardy.
Ben Hardy on.
Yeah, it's
Tom-
a party on.
Tom,
Laura.
Ben, Robert.
But what he does really well is like twofold, right? Like he's really good at coming up with stories that are like super like compelling in like a sad way. I mean, they're horrifying, but only like in an existential sense. Like they're horrifying, and then they always kind of turn. I think like kind of have a beautiful undertone, if sad, but like very beautiful undertone. Like Haunting Hill House is more haunting than it is like scary, and I would say this kind of falls into that. But he's also really technically just like a genius. Like that, there's that Haunting Hill House episode that's the funeral one, and it has it looks like a 15-minute tracking shot that travels through time and space into like another time period, like and the actors like all switch positions and they're played by their younger selves, and like it looks like it's all one shot. I think it was broken up into like little set 6-minute segments, but that's still really intense tracking shots.
Yeah.
Like, or one shot, you know? And so I think this kind of is the culmination of that, where it is very wordy. Like people spend a lot of time like talking about like what death is and what religion is. But it's also just like beautiful to look at and like very haunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You beat me by a second. I would love to see him tackle, like, I know they rebooted the Twilight Zone, but I feel like nothing really came of it. Like, it's not still, it was like one season, right?
It was trash. It was trash. The new Twilight Zone was trash. And
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Mike Flanagan could do something really interesting with that.
So I think like Mike Flanagan though is less interested in like the Twilight Zones, the Black Mirrors, these episodic things are all very interested on like the turn.
He likes telling a story, like
yeah. Well, they like the twist, right? It's all about like the little twist at the end, and I feel like Mike Flanagan's actually for like a director in this modern day and age of horror, he's very like what you see is what you get. He's not trying to twist it, right? Sean got them guns. Says Ferris.
I'm showing off my sunburn from earlier today.
Ferris, I want you to know that Eric saw a sign yesterday as we were leaving the Schmodown thing. Eric saw a sign that said, for an airplane, it said low like flights from $69 or whatever, like book your today to get low fares. And he goes, look, it says low Ferris. And I was like, what? Where? And he goes, well, it says Ferris, but it's how Ferris spells his name.
Yeah.
And I was like, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
So Ferris is basically a walking tax.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see Mike Flanagan do like a Until Dawn styled video game.
Yes.
Ooh.
And James Wan, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
We watched Malignant and we were like, there were some shots in Malignant where we're like, is this supposed to be a video game?
Yeah. Yeah, there's some like video game-esque like kind of like wide shots and establishing shots and Malignant that made me feel like maybe he had like an eye for that.
You guys like played Until Dawn?
I only just a couple months ago got a PS4 for the first time. I'm an Xbox person, so not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, you have to get it. This one's like the best game because it doesn't involve shooting or doing anything. Like it's basically just a movie with Rami Malek in it that's scary, and you make decisions like, do you tell Brenda she's a bitch to her face or behind her back? And like
I know about it. I was always very interested in it. When I saw the trailer first, I was very excited, and then it's like PlayStation exclusive. I was like, Sony, you can suck my left and right nut.
Well, the
Except
person
that now you have one.
Yeah.
Right? You don't even have an Apple? Not an Apple?
No way.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't have Apple, like you didn't have an Apple product, but I might have misheard you.
No, a place that he just recently got his PS4.
It's Sony. I said Sony can suck
Sony, yeah.
Sony can suck it. Here's the thing, my friend.
Apple can suck it too, but that's a whole different story.
You hear that, Siri? You can suck it. Suck it. I'm gonna get like ads for vacuum cleaners like tomorrow.
I'm sure that's what pops up when
get
you
a Samsung.
Suck it.
Suck it. No, because I kind of don't mind my phone knowing. I have some issues with like government stuff, and like I don't like this, and I have bristle against that. I'm kind of like a rebel, you could say, a Fonzie. But there's some things I don't care about, when it's like my phone listening to me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you gonna fucking do? All you're gonna do is make my experience better for me.
Yeah. Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. Sorry, excuse me. Until Dawn was written by a friend, I think directed by a friend of mine, Graham Resnick, who's from Delaware. So that's a cool connection. There's like a bunch of Delaware like horror people, like Ty West, who did The Innkeepers, and
Is it that scary living out there?
No, there's just nothing to do. Like, it's just
Except murder people and dig up bodies
or
Yeah.
think about it constantly until you just have to get it out. You just have to
I mean,
write it down or build a video game about it.
it's basically just so small of a state that I think if you're in there, like you're just like, well, what's there to do except like hang out and make the Blair Witch Project. It's very close to like where the Blair Witch Project was made, which was Maryland, where I also lived.
Yeah. Perfect.
Ferris, you better have liked that video.
So yeah, check out Until Dawn if you like movies and scary things, and also don't like having to do that much active work.
Yeah. If you ever plan to stream like any video
It's
game
so
content,
good.
like that's a good one to start with.
Yeah, if you're gonna stream anything, stream Until
If
Dawn.
you prefer to watch your games instead of play them.
I mean, you play it, but like the decision, it's all butterfly effects, right? So it's like everything you do is a decision tree, like in terms of like stuff. And you walk around, and you interact with things, but it's not like you're gonna have to shoot or like do that much.
Yeah, and it's a really fun game to play with like new people because like everyone has different like choices and opinions on what you should do.
It's basically Cabin in the Woods, but for video games.
You can make decisions by committee and totally get to a different ending or a storyline or at least a pathway.
Yeah. Is it sleep apnea? I always recommend playing a Telltale game if you can't fall asleep.
It's kind of like a Telltale game. It is like a Telltale.
It's essentially a high budget Telltale game.
I was about to say, is it similar to Telltale in that sense?
It's not exactly Telltale because Telltale is just all like these decision trees. Like Until Dawn, there is an element of open world exploring and like
no. There's no definitely open world exploring.
Sorry, maybe I'm using the term wrong. I'm saying you are open to explore your world.
No.
No. You can walk to room to room.
Well, I think what the difference is, like Telltale games, I do like those games in general, but they kind of are on rails in a way.
Yeah,
like,
they're rails.
You might make a decision that makes one small thing vary, between one scene to another, one chapter to another. But the point of Until Dawn is that you have 6 characters who are in danger throughout the night, and you have to make the right decisions to keep them alive. You can have them die. If one dies, you just continue. You can't go back and try to redo it. And
they don't let you. You can't save the game.
The story just goes on. So
Yeah.
the goal is to keep them all alive through the whole night.
Which I didn't know.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know because halfway through the game I thought that we were doing POV as a killer because we interstitial it with different things with Peter Stormare involved and he's a therapist and he's talking to seemingly the killer. So I thought the point was to kill them all. So especially because a lot of their decisions about whether they live or die are going to be based on your prior decisions to call Jessica a bitch to her face or call her behind her back. That will be influencing the events that happen later in the game where you have to jump and do this. It's like Jessica will hold out her hand or she won't because you called her a bitch to her face,
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the reasons I had trouble playing the Batman Telltale games. I felt like it was always threatening me because I'd make a decision and then it would be Baroni will remember that. And I'm like,
Okay.
Did I make the wrong choice? Or it's Falcone disapproved. I'm like, oh.
Oh no, Falcone disapproved.
He's lucky I don't beat his ass right now.
Yeah.
Turn him into the cops. I'm Batman.
Gonna drop you at my house party.
You're no longer allowed into the Ice Club or whatever.
Yeah, right.
They call it the Penguin Club?
Club Penguin.
The
No, it's not the
Iceberg
Iceberg
Lounge.
Iceberg Lounge.
Ooh, we got some geeks up in
What is
here.
it, Club Penguin? What is
That's
on Club Penguin? If I Google Club Penguin, what am I going to say?
All right, guys. Club Penguin or RuneScape?
What is it? Club Penguin.
I was never personally into either one, but I knew more people personally who played RuneScape. Club Penguin was an online social game.
I know
Club Penguin. Oh, it's like a penguin.
Yeah, it closed down a little while ago.
Massively multiplayer online game involving a virtual world that contained a range of online games and interactions. They used penguins and played in a winter set virtual blah blah blah. Okay.
Yeah.
Next. What is Animal Crossing?
What is it?
It's on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have a little village with animal friends.
Okay.
You scoff, but I think you might like it.
Okay.
You can trade and barter with other people, and you can visit other people's islands where they build their own stuff.
Here's my problem so far with Let's Go Pikachu, which is the first game I've ever played besides Pokemon Go, is I can't find anybody to trade or interact with me. Because you can't just put it out there in the universe that you want to trade or interact. It's you have to have a specific person in mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have anybody. It makes me sad.
You can probably find some people on Twitter. You got a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's still some people playing.
I apparently got rid of my Blastoise. Remember that?
Yeah.
My Blastoise disappeared. I was level 100 Blastoise. It's gone. I don't know what happened. To be clear, I beat the game like a week and a half ago. I'm just fucking around with the world.
You're doing endgame stuff.
I'm doing endgame stuff. That makes it sound sad because
What's up,
I'm really
Joey?
happy.
I think with Let's Go Pikachu, couldn't you interact with Pokemon Go and you could like level up your Pokemon? That right?
You can
I
trade
know.
them into the universe.
Yeah.
I know everyone here is old enough to remember Hey You Pikachu on the N64, where they had like the little speaker mic thing that you plugged into your controller. And the amount of times I was just screaming at my controller, I'm like, Pikachu, 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 you son of a bitch. I'm like 9 years old, just screaming at my game. Like, turn around, catch the Magikarp. No, you're wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Wait, what is this? I want this game.
It was a game for the Nintendo 64. So this was with like late 90s, early 2000s, where basically you were just like hanging out with your friend Pikachu.
Okay.
And you could like talk to it, and you could like play with them, pet with them.
Your friend with a job.
Yeah, it was just a game just entirely set around that at the height of like Pokemon fever. So it was a very like bare bones concept of a game, but it was like enough for people to be like, I love Pikachu. Like I'll play a whole game just about Pikachu.
Now, when you say Pokemon fever, and we're not talking about like what we're in right now, what would you call that? Like that was Pokemon
I mean,
fever?
when Pokemon was like everywhere, like in the 90s.
Oh yeah, when it was in
Like-
the zeitgeist of every piece of pop culture, it was all through the 90s. I got Pokemon Red when I was first grade. I was probably 6 years old, and it legit like helped me to learn how to read just playing it on the original. Oh, bye Jesse. Playing it on like the original Game Boy. And that's when Pokemon Fever was the mid 90s to like 2005, like in that 10-year span when you had the cartoon on TV and you had it was just blowing up
I
everywhere.
remember like riding in the car with my parents and hearing like car radio ads for like Pokemon this weekend at like the local mall, like Pokemon event,
Well, that's crazy to me because I just discovered it, and so I think that the Pikachu's just kind of getting into his own right now. I have a Christopher Columbus effect that also like retcons it. So I'm discovering Pokemon. so is everybody else.
There's definitely it's very popular. I mean, it's still all over Twitch. You can definitely find people still just playing the original Pokemon games or
I heard they're harder than the ones I'm playing it anyway.
Yeah, well, harder than Let's Go Pikachu.
Well,
because some of the mechanics are different.
Yeah, they definitely kind of not to say dumbed down. That's not the right verbiage, but like they made it. No, I just mean like they made it more accessible for I think a younger audience. Whereas the graphics of the older models, they didn't fit well with like a Nintendo Switch, and so they updated it well and then replicated the game. I couldn't get my kids into it because I think they weren't reading yet. So they didn't like just mashing the buttons. They're like, what did I just do? I'm like, I can't read the game to you. I couldn't sit and read the game to them. I was like,
that's also why you didn't like the first game.
Well, I was about to say, I was like, I also had a problem with this game. I hate that you always start out in Pallet Town and you got to go do the thing where you like go and like go to Oak's house and like he's got to say a bunch of words to you. Don't like that part. Just let me catch the thing.
Your mom.
I think it's annoying that Ash's mom gets to be a character when she barely like notices her son's gone in that first series.
Ash's mom lives with a Mr. Mime, and there's a lot of things going on there.
Ash's mom has got it going on. All right, this is for Drew right here.
Starting up with Oak, right?
Yeah. So this is Hey You Pikachu.
Right.
I think it's muted. Maybe that's by design. So we don't get flagged.
Yeah, it's by design.
Yeah,
yes. Actually, yeah, it's true because Nintendo is
Niantic will come after us. I guarantee it. I never played this game.
This is you can get him to write notes and stuff.
What was he pissing? He's pissing?
He's fishing.
Oh, he's fishing. Like he's peeing.
Did you play Pokemon Snap?
Oh, he's playing that.
I love Pokemon Snap.
That was my jam.
I always said, the day that they released Pokemon Snap, I will buy that console for that new game. They messed up because they released it when I already had a Switch. I would have bought a whole new console for it.
I mean,
they should have waited.
Can you do Snap on the big screen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look, this is the scariest part to me. It's the part where I talk to this kid and he goes, you know how Cubones wear skulls, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess. And it goes, from what I've heard, people pay a lot of money for one of those skulls. It's not saying the part about the mom being the skull that it's wearing on its head. Yeah. Right. That's some Norman Bates Ed Gein bullshit. Like, what is going on with Cubone? Like, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of like in the first generation of Pokemon. There's a lot of like stuff they dropped into the mythos that was like on second thought, you're like, oh, maybe we didn't need to like exactly do it that way. Like Cuban wears the skull of its dead mother.
Mhm.
Set.
And apparently it's sad about it, but then like also it is doing that.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
I love the bits of like statistics in like certain Pokemon that are just like physically impossible. Like, like a Pidgeot can fly at like Mach 5, and then which will like just like obliterate you if it flew by you. Like a Machamp can throw 300 punches in the blink of an eye.
What? Like Machamp isn't, or like the fact that Charizard weighs like 125 pounds or something.
Oh yeah, Charizard's like 5'7".
Yeah,
Yes.
Charizard's like the opposite of yoked.
Yeah,
The weights and heights are absolutely asinine.
I've definitely seen one of those pictures too somewhere on the internet where they had them all, lined up. It's
I
like,
want to pose.
that's so much different than I thought.
I want to pose an earlier question that we got in the chat to Drew and Eric before they were here. What are some of your guys' favorite animated Disney movies?
Like Pixar or Disney?
Kind of both. I mean,
Both.
when I was going to say that, I was just going to throw a dueling glove and say that DreamWorks' How to Train Your Dragons is better than 90% of Disney films.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, How to Train Your Dragons is
great.
fine. It's pretty good.
There was a time where Disney was just cranking them out, and the 3 How to Train Your Dragon movies are pretty damn good. So
I'd say like, but then there's the classics like Lion King is super strong.
Well, like the Golden Age of
Moana is
Disney.
good. Well, I think Moana is like very good. Like I really like
I do
Moana.
a lot.
It's got a really great message.
If I had to stick to like the kind of golden
No,
age of
Koi.
Disney,
I refuse.
Hey, Koi.
Koi. Please talk to us about Mass and Midnight Mass. Yeah.
Midnight Mass. We want to talk to you about Midnight Mass. We want you to come on the show next Sunday and talk about Midnight Mass.
We binged it over the weekend. We want you to talk about it.
We see that you like it too.
Yes.
We too like it.
Yes.
And I found out this week that Hamish Linklater's wife or partner is best friends with Kate. And
Yeah, Kate Mulligan is best friends apparently with Hamish Linklater.
With his wife, who is I did not know, Lily Rabe.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyway, so Koi, hit us up.
Yes, please want to talk about it. Anyways, but the Disney stuff, Golden Age Disney, I think I watched Mulan like a lot with my older sister.
Mm.
Yeah, Mulan's okay.
So that was like one that I memorized very well. I knew all the songs, I knew like all the jokes and the lines.
Mushu.
Good.
He's a dragon.
That's right.
Dragon.
Who is that girl?
I really liked
see?
Hercules, maybe because I've always just liked the Greek mythology stuff.
Mhm.
So
We also like how the camera looks. You pointed out in Hercules that. Well, go ahead.
yeah, Zero to Hero is like one of my favorite songs in all of Disney. Specifically,
Wasn't that the name of the prequel also?
for the TV series that they did? Was that
There's
it?
definitely a Disney Channel show for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hercules is hands down my favorite. Flip flopping with Incredibles, but Hercules is always my go-to.
On that
I think-
note, what direct-to-DVD animated sequel do you think is not as bad as everyone thinks it is?
I don't think I've seen. Wait, specifically of Disney. I don't know how many of them I've seen.
Pretty much, if it's a sequel to a well-known Disney movie, it was direct-to-DVD, like
Yeah.
Lion
I mean,
King 2, any
If
of
it's
the Aladdin.
animated, though, I mean, you're really asking me for a deep cut. The only one I think I've seen for sure is like the Iago one of Aladdin.
Yeah.
I could just probably say though, without having seen any of them, the second Lion King, the Pride one, seems like to be everyone's favorite.
Kovu? Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
one. I think it's really good.
And that's where the show came out of that, spurned out of that.
And I
too,
hear
didn't it?
Scar has a hot ass son or something.
Yes.
So
true.
that's cool.
I think Lauren brought up that point on the show. I love Aladdin King of Thieves.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The
that's the second one,
right?
right? Or is that
That's
the
the
third
third
one?
one.
Third
Okay.
one.
Third one. Okay.
Return
Is
of
that one
Jafar
we
his
got, like-
ass.
Right.
Did they get Robin Williams back for that one, or was it still
No.
Homer Simpson?
It was they probably
I think he wasn't in Return of the Jafar, and then he came back. And
Was it? Really?
well, we might get a lot more tips.
We might get more viewership. out
Wow!
of that,
Hey, Koi. But so Koi, yes, we should. Let's have a midnight mass talk. Yeah, we should have Hamish. We should have Hamish on. I've seen Hamish do off Broadway, and here's the thing: like watching Midnight Mass, I was like, finally, a role that's really good for showcasing him because he's a tremendous performer. But I feel like most people don't know who he is, or like know him as a background extra from like movies or like small parts in this or that, like just off the top of your head, do you like guys know who Hamish Linklater is, or like what he looks like, or like?
No,
I do not.
Yeah. Okay. So this is like a great show.
I can assume from his last name that he's related somehow, but I can Google his name.
Yeah,
Boy.
he's related. He's not related to Richard Linklater, but he's related to the other Linklaters, like the very famous Scottish family.
Since Coy's watching, I was just going to ask him tomorrow, 11 a.m. If you're not busy, come talk Sandman with me and Scott. I'd love to have somebody that actually got some thoughts on a little teaser trailer and talk about the comics a bit. Because right now I am almost done with Act 2 of the Audible.
I read all
Sandman. It's so fucking good.
That teaser trailer worries me, though. There's something about that teaser trailer that it feels like that doesn't have like the best budget for special effects, but I don't know. Like I feel like
me and Sean were talking about it earlier. Yeah. Like Sandman is, if not anything else, going to be expensive. It's going to be either expensive or way too. I am scared that it's going to be too low concept. What gives me some faith is that Neil Gaiman is very hands-on with it and very happy with it. And so I'm hoping,
that's good.
Because like all the behind the scenes things are with Neil Gaiman. He's all over Twitter talking it up. I think I'm just hoping that's
doing that for like American Gods and stuff. Was he not as into it?
I don't know. To me, Neil Gaiman is the Stardust guy, which I love, and that's what I paid much attention to.
I interviewed him once, and we got breakfast, and he was exactly like Professor Snape in Harry Potter. It was perfect. It was.
He narrates the Audible, and it's fantastic.
He's fantastic. I remember like he chided me once for crossing the street while the sign was red, and I was like, okay, it was New York. You like do whatever the fuck you want, but okay. And then secondly, because we went out for breakfast to do the interview, and I didn't eat enough of my oatmeal, and he was just, I can't even do a Neil Gaiman impression, but he was like, you going to eat any of that oatmeal? Yeah, I can't do a Snape impression either. I can't. Once I'm asked to do impressions, I can't do any impressions.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's really because you're really good impressions. Okay.
Hello, I wrote The Sandman.
Yeah, that was kind of it. It's funny because I was doing this to Kate last night because the reason I've seen Hamish Linklater on the theaters because I saw him and Lily Rabe in a version of, oh God, what was it called? It was like some play about a professor played by Alan Rickman. And I was trying to do an Alan Rickman impression for the time that I had met him. And he said, charmed, I'm sure. And it was like the most Alan Rickman thing ever. But I can't do a Rickman. I don't know what it is. I just am probably because I'm a lady. But I can't do a good Alan Rickman.
You have to really work on saying turn to page 394.
394, or like
after
it was
the
a
back
spoon
of your voice like this.
Always after class.
You sound like Dr. Evil, though, kind of, is the thing about that.
$1 after class.
Wow. If there's one thing cooler than guys that can do Cartman impressions.
Cheers, Joey. Appreciate you, bud.
Are we on Twitch? That's
yeah.
Cool.
We're all
Are you doing a walkthrough of Pokemon?
We should. That'll be next week's
right
video.
Now. This is me switching, baby.
Just a reminder, because we haven't said in a while, and hopefully Drew doesn't get too upset. I'm going to bring this back up overlay for a quick second.
No, keep it up. Keep it up.
That is our. Here, I'll do this. I can be down here. You can be up here. We'll do that.
Right now, I'm letting my legs down.
I am Jesse.
Everybody watching the show, once again, an hour later, please donate to streamlabs.com/flickandreel. Me and Sean both have donation goals going right now. If you want to donate to Drew, you can do that too. Just say in the donation, this is for Drew, and then we'll make sure it gets to her.
We'll make it happen.
Because right now, what we have is we had a $10 donation earlier, and these are our goals that we're getting to. I would love to have hands-on, not just Audible. I would love to have the Sandman collection. I found it for $150. It's normally $250, so that's awesome. $100 off. And Sean would like to pre-order Horizon Forbidden West. Speaking of PlayStation and stuff. So
I like you telling people exactly what they're going to be buying with their money. I'm not being sarcastic. I think that's like a really good idea.
It was kind of a thought for this. So much of this show is unstructured. I thought the one thing that we could have structured is like, hey, like it kind of feels like you're throwing something into an empty abyss when you donate to a show sometimes. And I'm like, specifically, this is our goal. And it'll be stretched out until we hit it. Like, it doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be next week. Whenever we get it.
Yeah.
This is something that I can't afford right now that I want. And so that's why I'm putting it out there. Because a lot of the necessities I can buy.
And then it's also like an incentive for people because you can like show it to them after you get it and be like, look at what your money bought. Like, here's like the actual item. Like, here it is, like physical. That's very like what did they call it? Like, that's very like not goal oriented.
It's like an Amazon wish list type thing.
Yeah, it's like Amazon. But I'm saying like the psychological effect of like it's the immediate. It's like delayed gratification, but you still get like the knowledge that you're working towards it, and like you'll see
like
it.
If you buy somebody a gift card. And then you never hear anything. It's like, oh, well, I hope they had a good time. But if they're like, hey, this is what I got with the gift card. Like, oh, that's so cool. That's so much more rewarding for the gift giver.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or it's like how I found out there's these games online where you can basically do the claw game, but you can do it for these machines in Japan. And they will like pick things up out of the claw machine and like grab it for you and then send it to you. And you would think that isn't that appealing. But like, ask me how much money I've spent in the past like week and a half on this shit. Like, knowing that I won't immediately get the object, but I can get like a crummy knockoff Pikachu that literally looks like something that's made by the devil.
And they're actually committed to sending it to you too. So
they send it to you.
Yeah.
They send it to you with the free shipping.
That's cool.
Just because Garth brought it up, and I don't want to circle around this for the rest of eternity, or maybe I do. But with that Sandman Audible, the Kat Dennings playing Death, when I first saw that in the cast, I was like, that seems like a weird choice. So good.
It does seem weird.
What's incredible is so many people that are involved in the Audible. If you look at them, you're like, live action, that would have worked great. Like so much of the Audible cast could have translated. James McAvoy as Morpheus would have been awesome. Mm-hmm. His voice, I think, is either going to A, turn you on immensely, or B, make you question your sexuality.
McAvoy is Orpheus, though. Whoever they got to play Orpheus, is that CGI or does that dude look exactly like the guy from the comics?
Tom Sturridge? Are you talking about in the trailer?
Yeah, that guy. I was like, well, how did they do that?
His jawline is cut like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I didn't think it was the jawline. I thought it was the cheekbones. Like that's some crazy cheekbones.
He definitely looks a bit like that. The only thing they calmed down on a little bit, I think, is the hair, which isn't entirely important, but Morpheus has big hair.
But maybe he will get it. Like that was just like that scene of Charles Dance, like entrapping him, right? He's got a bunch of time to grow it out now. He's got like a generation to grow it out.
We can't get too caught up on his appearance because literally Morpheus appears as different ethnicities to different people.
Well, right, and he's also like drawn by different artists. Like this tattoo was actually, this is another thing Gaiman talked to me about. This was based on the Delirium standalone story from Nightmares and Dreams, not Nightmares and Dreamscapes. That's Stephen King.
She's wild. She's a wild character.
Yeah, the Tori Amos one. So she was based on because he was dating Tori Amos at the time. Mm-hmm. This was based on her. What was that standalone comic they did of each? Like they did. It was one standalone comic, but it was for each of the players. Like it was one for Delirium, one for Dream, one for there's a Dream Orpheus. Yeah, there's one for Destruction. They each had their own standalone story. And
I didn't know that Lock and Key had a crossover with Sandman. Yeah. I saw that I was looking up some stuff, and then
I'm trying to look it up.
Constantine and Hellblazer.
I'm looking up if I can find the picture of it because in it she's like talking and her hair is turning into fishes, and it's like super cool. And I was just obsessed with it, so I got this tattoo, which is literally just an interpretation of a concept of it. It's not the fishes, it's not anything. But I showed it to Neil Gaiman, and he was like, "That doesn't look like anything we drew." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, thanks for being honest." I was
just gonna go jump off a bridge now.
It was not supposed to look like the picture. It was supposed to kind of take the idea of the picture. I guess it's a stylistic thing.
I agree that I'm going to stay true to the concept of it.
Yeah, it's true to the theme of it. I think.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, sorry, I didn't want to get giant fishes anywhere on me.
Is Eric somewhere else coming up?
Yeah, he went out. Are you able to pull up the picture? It's right there. There we go. So I get how this doesn't look like that, but I like how it like floats up like and stuff.
Right.
Kirby Howell Baptist's death is a unique choice since she's usually a pale goth girl in the comics, but I like it. I mean,
My
we've
thing
been
is,
over that.
goth
Yeah.
is not an ethnicity. So I really think,
Yeah.
and also, there's a lot of people online. I was talking to Sean about this. They're saying like, "Oh, she's white in the comics." I was like, "She's not Caucasian white. She's the color
white,
white.
like yeah, she's white, like translucent.
She's not to me. I don't associate any of the endless with a race. I think they can be whatever.
I think of Destruction as an Irish guy. I will say that he always kind of looks like straight up Irish. Like he's just a burly redhead. That's the only one I associate with like a color palette.
Oh, it'd be fun if they got Tormund from Game of Thrones.
Oh my god, yes.
Mhm.
I love that guy.
He's in the new season of The Witcher, I think. So he's already part of the Netflix family.
What do we think about that? The Witcher trailer. Any thoughts?
I didn't watch it. I didn't see it.
Well-
Witcher is one of those things that I enjoyed. I like. There's people like, oh, it's the next Game of Thrones. I was like, it's not, but it's pretty good.
Did you toss a coin to your Witcher?
Well, absolutely. And maybe I can screw with your minds the way that Lauren and I's minds got messed up. So one of us was talking and we accidentally said, "Cost a coin to your Witcher."
Cost a
And the-
coin?
Yeah. Cost a coin. The more you say it, the more it sounds like it's the right way to say it.
Cost
It's
a coin
really-
to your Witcher. Cost a coin. Cost a coin. Oh god, I don't like that. Cost a coin.
So it really
Cost a
messes
coin
up
to your
our-
Witcher.
Yeah, so now
kind
every time we see a trailer or something for The Witcher, we always tell each other, "Cost a coin to your Witcher."
That's Eric keeps a list of phrases that I've misspoken.
Yeah, phrases and words that you've
Yeah, let's look. Yeah,
said and made up.
Yeah, but made up, but like in a cute way, not like in a demeaning way. Tell them about the phrases.
What's the list?
Yeah, tell them about the list. It's content.
Let's see. It is called.
You have a name for it?
The list. There's a little title on it, so I know what it is.
just Druisms.
Druisms.
Oh, there's a better pun there.
Video Druisms.
Video Drusums. Ah,
So Garth brings up a point that it's things are until we get out of some this. I'm just going to keep circling back to Sandman. He says that basically The Witcher's really he likes it, but sometimes CGI is bad. Dude, Sandman is so imaginative, and so much of it is not like a normal set. It's all like dreamscape and stuff like that. I'm like, you guys have to go. I don't know where the budget's coming from because
agreed.
It's
No,
more
100%
expensive.
agree.
it would be more expensive than anything Netflix has done. And I was talking to people, they're like, well, Stranger Things. I was like, no. Stranger Things doesn't have jack shit on Sandman.
Well, they have a new one. Oh, was it Amazon that's coming out with the one that's like also like as big as Game of Thrones, like the world and the land of it. Like it's
Well, Lord of the Rings.
not Lord of the Rings. Sorry, it's got like that other one that takes place in like a circle of time or something. Wheel of Time. There we go.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings. The TV
Apple's-
show Rings.
Apple's
It's gonna
doing
be
a
huge,
really spinzy looking show. That show Foundation that just like came out, I think.
That was the one I was trying to think of. Yeah, that one's.
That looks
Lon was telling me the
expensive.
plot of that today. It sounds nuts.
I want to
straight up,
watch
like-
it, but I watched the trailer. It looks like a movie, high caliber movie.
And apparently, it's like the most. He said it must be one of the most expensive shows to ever exist because of the way it all takes place on these different planets and like it spans all these time frames. Like he says, the production value is so high, it looks like it's maybe the most expensive TV production in history.
Interesting.
I know that doesn't it immediately catch your interest. Aren't you immediately like, I'm intrigued?
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, though, the fact that they got Howard Shore back has me stoked.
Yes.
Is it hard to get back on the composers?
I mean, for a TV show, I mean, I don't think Howard Shore's ever done TV, so I mean, this is.
Was he confirmed or is it still? I just saw the article headline and didn't actually.
I think
read it,
they're
so I
in
don't know if
late
he was
talks,
confirmed.
and I would assume it's just a matter of like crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and putting a dollar sign on it.
Yeah.
It's funny because like with composers, you usually see like composer coming back, and then we never hear again until like they just do it. They just
Right.
the score comes out.
They just cram for the last 30 days before the movie releases or whatever. So I guess if you're doing it, if you're doing an Amazon show, I mean, they're probably doing them all at once and then just release them in chunks or whatever.
I do.
And-
I have to plug the or I have to plug Drew's channel really quick.
You got it.
And let everyone know that a couple days ago we had a lot of fun. Me and the Mrs. Lauren did a Robin Hood Men in Tights trivia, and that was
Because
a lot
we're
of fun.
men.
Men
in
in tights.
Tights. I love any opportunity I have to be on Drew's channel, and especially to answer trivia that doesn't have the amount of pressure of a tournament behind it.
But yet it's worth more money somehow.
That's true. That's very easily true.
I do like that about the quizzes, and not trying to get on anyone's bad side here, but it's just like they're so like low stakes and everyone has a good time, but also you have the potential to win like actual money.
Yeah, potential to win money. Thanks to viewers like you.
Viewers like you. Talk about knowing where your money's going. Hey Malcolm, I see Malcolm in the chat. And Garth, but I saw Malcolm just commented.
Scooby-Doo next time.
Malcolm, they haven't launched season 1 yet. Are they confirmed for season 2 already?
I mean,
They
Maybe
must, right? You can't put all your eggs in your little hobbit basket without being aware of like what you're doing.
Yeah,
these Pringles are deadly good. I'm gonna be honest.
What kind of thing?
What flavor?
Barbecue.
Yeah.
Good one.
Classic
Flavor.
So here are some Drew quotes.
Oh yeah, we're doing Drew quotes.
These are so just keep
Maddie
in mind-
Gunner.
Maddie's
Hey, buddy.
awake.
This
What
guy
time
was
is it?
on
7 a.m.?
I think he's 8 hours ahead of me, so it's probably almost 9, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, what time is it where Malcolm lives? It's like 10 a.m.
That one I don't know.
Malcolm,
But
where are you?
Maddie was on our movie news show a couple weeks ago. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, always happy to have them on there. Which will
Maddie.
be tomorrow at 11 a.m. So in about 10 hours or something.
11
So
a.m.
what's-
PT.
Yeah.
So wait, yeah.
So these are some
Quotes.
quotes and questions from Drew.
Quotes and questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Things like just keep in mind these are things that we would be probably sitting like in dead silence.
Yeah, dead silence.
And then Drew just like says these things.
Over the course of a year.
That makes it so much better.
Yeah. So first one, do you think you'd be good at the lament configuration box?
Yeah. No, that's a great. Do you wonder about that like constantly?
At the
Like, how
what?
good would you be?
Do you think you'd be good at the lament configuration box?
From Hellraiser, the little like Rubik's
little,
cube
puzzle box from Hellraiser.
that lets you open a gateway to hell. And like, if you were good at it, like what would you do? Because I wouldn't be able to stop myself from opening the gateway to hell accidentally, just constantly.
Every time, even when it resets, just do it again.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, if you're good at something and it's like a fidget spinner, like,
These are the important questions.
Yeah. Another
Garth
one.
says he loves Rubik's Cubes.
Yes.
Another one. Drew says, "My hair smells warm."
yeah, it did.
Yeah.
That day.
That day it smelled warm.
Really? It always sounds like I'm having a stroke.
You know what? I'm with that. I've definitely walked into a room or something like it smells warm in here.
Yeah, right. Warm has. I hear it and I'm like, that sounds
People
like a
always
crazy
think I'm
person.
weird. Like when I'm outside, I go, "It smells hot out here."
Right.
And I was
Smells
like,
hot
"What?"
out. Right.
You mean it feels hot? I'm like, no, it smells hot.
No.
And it feels hot.
Smells that way.
She says, "I found out there's a white heart emoji, which goes nicely with the tooth."
Yes, it did. And you know what I was talking about was an actual tooth, probably not an emoji of a tooth, but
Was
an
it-
actual tooth.
Yeah.
Was it Tooth Hardy?
Oh wow, is that? Oh god, you can't tell the joke anymore. Never mind. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no.
Yeah, whoops.
What if Hayden Christensen was a good actor? We'll never find out.
We'll never know. The world will never know if he's good at acting. Is that when we were watching Jumper?
Looper. Oh, no, Jumper.
The
sorry,
Jumper,
yeah,
yeah, I got it.
yeah. I was
Like
just-
the Goo Goo Dolls song.
Can you imagine Looper with Hayden Christensen? Different movie.
Like as
Oh.
which character? As Emily Blunt?
Who would play older?
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen.
Who would play older Hayden Christensen?
You'd have to
Jake Lloyd.
get the whole
Jake Lloyd.
you'd have to get the whole cast from Jumper and just bring Samuel L. Jackson as
Right.
the older version of Hayden Christensen.
Or hear me out. You just have to get Liam Neeson. You get Liam
Yes.
Neeson back in there.
James Earl Jones.
They never shared a movie together. I'm aware of that, but I'm just saying, right? They didn't. They can't. No, because
they can't.
they can't. He like Ra's al Ghul died.
They could.
Ra's al Ghul died so that Hayden Christensen could like have that meme of like saying something, and then Natalie Portman says something, and then he says something, and then she says, "Oh no," with her face.
Yeah.
I knew this was going to happen. I knew we were going to hit a lull, and if we stayed up long enough, the views were going to start going up again. So we got new viewers. Make sure you guys are liking the video so we can get more views. Subscribe if you haven't already. Also, you see the Streamlabs link down there. You can send in your questions. We'll all answer them. And Sean and I both have specific goals that we're working towards, and get those right here on the bottom. I'm trying to get some Sandman comics. They're on sale. That's awesome. And Sean likes his PlayStation games. So if you want to help out with that, just let us know who you're donating to, and we'll get that all broken up at the end. Or if you want to donate to Drew and Eric, feel free to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, give us money. We have something that we're trying to work towards.
Yeah, give us money. I'm trying to get towards the goal of paying for my dog's eye surgery.
Oh God. Oh
Cool.
God.
Now-
Eric, don't upstage people. That's rude.
Now I'm going to take this off, and we're only donating to Eric and Drew now.
But don't worry, it's not the doggies here. It's his doggy back at home.
My older dog. She's about 7 now. She has cataracts, unfortunately.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
I know, it's really sad.
But it's very mild, so she still is hopping around. She'll jump right in your face.
Yeah,
As soon as you lay down, she'll just jump right in your face.
You know what I love about dogs is when they learn how to pet you back, but I mean it hurts, but they think that going like this is they're like, with their long ass nails. It's so cute because they're like, you do it to us, we assume that this is how you show affection, and you're like, get off.
Oops, that's all right. Yeah, my cat Goose, he was on the tower today, and I walked up just to say hi to him, and I got kind of in his face, and he just put his claw out and just grabbed my nose.
Oh God! Yeah, he's probably like, see, he's like, this is a boop.
I've been wanting to. So we finished Midnight Mass, and then I think Long was imploring that we watch The Foundation next, but now everyone's talking about Squid Game as well, and that looks really cool. So
Squid Game looks dope.
We gotta watch both of them now.
What the Foundation was Apple, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But Squid Game is Netflix, right?
The Squid Game's Apple.
No, Squid Game is Netflix.
Oh, that was Apple.
No, absolutely no. Foundation is Apple, I think.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Have you guys watched any of Shmikadoon yet on Apple?
I did, and I really want to like it because I love musicals, and I love Julie Klausner, who I think is one of the EPs on it, and I love Keegan-Michael Key. I love Cecily Strong, but it's not for me because I think I don't like that genre of musical. So even if it's being a satire, I don't like the music. I don't like Carnival or Oklahoma or any of those big old timey musicals. So the music in it doesn't appeal to me. But maybe it gets better. I know a lot of people love it.
We got about 3 episodes in, and I think we are interested in it. But honestly, outside of Ted Lasso right now, I think Wellington Paranormal is my favorite thing I've been watching.
Well, that's something I've never heard.
What is that on?
It's on HBO.
HBO.
Okay, you know what it is, right?
Yeah, it's the What We Do in the Shadows spinoff.
Yeah. But the reason it's on HBO is because it's a Channel 4 thing, so it doesn't have to deal with What We Do in the Shadows.
Right. It's
on FX.
Mm-hmm.
They play it on CW, and I sent it to somebody and it's a CW show. I'm like, it's not a CW show.
Yeah,
it plays on CW, but it's not a CW show.
Yeah,
it's really funny.
If you haven't checked out Search Party, I know it's I don't know why it feels like it's a hard sell because it's not getting any Emmy nominations or anything. It is one of the best shows, just full stop. Because it is such an original concept. It is basically not a murder mystery, but it's a whodunit. It's a mystery show, but it's also a scathing satire on millennials, because it's all these Oberlin grads, of which I am, trying to find their missing not friend from college, but a girl who went to college with them who is currently missing, and they've sort of organized their life and their meaningless adrift lifestyles to have a purpose of trying to find this chick. And it is, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just deeply funny, in a very, I don't know, scathing way.
Also appearance from our own Griffin Newman.
Griffin Newman's in an episode looking entirely different.
A few episodes.
Yeah, a couple episodes.
Yeah.
I thought he was 23 for the longest time.
Yeah, no, he was over here last week, and I up close. I was like, "Oh, I see. You're an adult. I get you."
That's what everyone wants to hear. Oh, when I get closer to you, you're old.
To be fair, in the Show-9, he looks like an adult, but watching this show, and he's in a couple episodes, and he looks so radically different. Like I was like,
Mhm.
"How this is not the same." You didn't even recognize him. I said,
Yeah.
"You know who that is?" And you went, "No." And I went,
You're like, look
"From
who
the
it
Schmodown?"
is. And I was like, I don't know who you're talking about.
I was like, "From the Schmodown?" He goes, "No."
Have I edited his videos?
I've watched. They've almost finished releasing the second season. I think it's what they're on with HBO right now.
Yeah.
But I gotta double check, make sure I'm caught up. The last thing I watched was the haunted car, which was a goofy episode.
A haunted car, you say?
Yeah. There's the premises of this you can't really you can't get into or explain. You just have to witness how funny they are. I also like, it's not as funny as the movie, but I do like the What We Do in the Shadows show.
I think it's as funny as the movie.
Yeah, I actually think it's funnier than
I
the
think it's
movie.
the funnier than the movie. I agree. It's
I-
how long have you watched the whole thing, Jesse? Because it's
Yeah,
very strong.
we're up to date.
Okay.
I think New Zealand humor resonates with Lauren and I a tiny bit more, but we're obviously still watching every episode. I think it's hilarious. Colin Robinson is one of my favorite TV characters.
Yeah.
We love Matt Berry. We're a Matt Berry household, do or die. So like Laszlo is like our favorite. Like because Eric likes it when people curse in like in situations where cursing is not necessary, and they curse with like a forcefulness that is like not necessary. So everything that Matt Berry says is like the funniest thing that Eric's ever heard.
Yeah.
Nadia is my favorite. Nadia is my favorite character though.
Where he was like, "I'd do it, but I can't be fucked."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Nachia's also great just because like she has like such like high highs. She has like great range of like what she does in her performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she holds her own. Like when these characters were like, she's not just funny because she's the funny woman character. She's just like as funny as the rest of them, and she's given as much to do as the rest of them.
Yeah,
which I really like. And like her thing is that she's in a relationship with one of the other vampires, which could really easily just make her like a side piece, like the follow-up joke kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
We're giving Sean all the things to watch.
Yeah.
Too many. There's too many things I want to watch.
But Guillermo, who literally is like the side piece of the show, is also incredible.
I think I haven't seen the newest episode from last week, but it seems like they're implying that he does like somebody. Like he's got a crush. Is it the girl from like the earlier episode with
I thought they're implying that he's gay.
Is he? I think they think he's gay. I don't think necessarily he is gay.
When
they like that girl from 2 episodes ago.
When they vacuumed up the dust under the beds and then the vampires couldn't sleep anymore, we were dying laughing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Colin Robinson's favorite thing is that TV that you can only watch when you're in the hotel suite.
Yeah.
It's like, what was the theme song? It was like Poker Island or something. It's so good.
Anyways, Sean's just like, well, I watched Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso is a gentle comedy, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's so good.
In fact, I need to catch up on it. But
I love
just
this comment.
Yeah, more of an
yeah. I like the first season where they bring in Vanessa Bayer. Is that her name? Vanessa Bayers? To be the emotional vampire. Because I was like, this is me and the Leo meme. I was like, there I am.
Evie.
Is she gonna come back? She's so good.
I don't think so.
Well, I love the inclusion of Haley Joel Osment.
That was good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and then who was it? Benedict Wong was the fucking dude.
Oh yeah, the shaman, whatever in that episode.
It's so.
The show
is so good.
Yeah.
Was it nominated for anything?
I don't know. So. I don't think it was nominated for anything.
Wait.
This year? No.
Should have been.
Jesse or Sean, I guess, have either of you seen? Because we were talking about the CW shows a minute ago. Have either of you seen the Superman and Lois TV show?
Yeah, Sean's watched more than I have. I watched about 3 episodes, and I haven't revisited it yet.
Yeah.
I
watched and Mark Hamill, of
when
course.
Did you watch
I forgot.
I edit reactions for it.
Oh yeah, so Eric like does double time because he gets to watch and like while he's doing reactions, I guess.
Yeah.
I get jealous sometimes. I'm like, would you watch without me?
But I mean,
okay, I lost all faith and trust in Malcolm, and I feel real weird about it. I'm sorry.
Malcolm says he couldn't get into Ted Lasso.
I mean, Ted Lasso is a very gentle comedy. Connor had an interest in politics from a very young age.
Yeah.
Succession's another one. If you haven't watched Succession,
yeah,
what's wrong with you?
I think Succession is like probably probably the best show that I've recently discovered.
I guess
Yeah.
I could say what's wrong with me is that I haven't watched it.
Succession is.
I haven't seen it either. I feel
Oh
like
my
that's a great
God.
description though for Lasso, because in a like a pop culture landscape where everything is drama, everything's just high drama, whether it be like reality shows or shows like Succession or whatever else. Like you get this just wholehearted, like wholesome
Like the most
comedy
dramatic
with
thing
Ted
in
Lasso.
Ted Lasso is like coming to grips with like life trauma and like dealing with like panic attacks.
Yeah, that
and
was
stuff,
pretty
which
traumatic,
I think
though.
is
Yes.
incredibly.
That episode with
I love
Frozen was a pretty traumatic episode. Like,
Yeah.
like when he has a panic attack about his divorce, I was like, oh, I don't like this at all, or I don't like this feeling. But Succession, that's the thing I think people don't understand. Succession is like a hilariously funny show. It has the pacing of a drama, and it's dealing with like dramatic material, but like the language of it, because it was created by the guys who did Peep Show, like Jesse Armstrong. It is hilariously funny. Like the way they use language and cursing, and like just the performances are really fun. It's like played as a comedy.
Yeah.
Is anyone else watching Why the Last Man yet?
I'm not.
We've
not
not
yet,
seen it. We should though, right?
It's only
We should.
last time I checked, it's only 4 episodes right now, so it doesn't take long to catch up. We watched the first 3 and watched the 4th one when it's new. I think it might drop on Mondays or Wednesdays. I can't remember. It's on Hulu.
Is it any good so far?
I like it, but I can't say that I'm coming from the comics. I know Coy is like obsessed with Why the Last Man, and he seems to be enjoying it, which gives me faith.
Yeah.
I think they're changing a few things or focusing on things that they didn't focus this early on in the comics. But if you're just looking at it as a general show, I think it's not really fast at the beginning because they're doing a lot of world setup. But when it starts getting going, it gets brutal. It's fascinating, and you're not sure who to root for in it. So it's
The man.
complicated in the best way.
It's the
No,
last one.
I mean, like, I guess for the sake of population, but like, he sucks.
He's just like a shitty person.
Like, he's not the worst person ever, but he's a wimp. He's selfish. He's just the complete opposite of everything that you would think like a masculine centerpiece male archetype to be. And he's pretty worthless. And I think that's a fun thing to explore when you think like with all this pressure on the shoulders that they'd be this big important character. And it's like, if it was any other story, nobody would give a shit about this person. And I think that's an interesting starting point for the story.
Yeah. Oh, I want to see it. There's a bunch of stuff coming out that I'm like obsessed with seeing.
Yes.
Sandman.
Believe. Do it.
So I know that I need to go get started on work soon. So I
Yeah.
probably need to head out because I have a huge Star Wars piece to do for Rotten Tomatoes for Mark Ellis,
Garcia the Fifth
and-
dropped.
and I have not done it yet. It's due in like 2 days.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So
Well, we made it to
don't say
2
it
hours.
Don't say it like
It's fine.
that.
I think you guys saved the show because we were about to call it after about an hour because it was kind of slowing down.
Oh,
We're
okay.
feeling-
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
We were feeling the sleepy kick in, but then you guys came on and revitalized everything, brought some energy back into
Hell
it. So
yeah.
we appreciate that. This was our first experiment go around.
Ooh.
Is there anything you guys want to get out there before we go? Want to do some plugs and things?
Well, we have a new network, a podcast network that we're kind of like, I guess we like soft launched it off the ground. But it exists now. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's called Content Candy. That's our new podcast network. It has like a bunch of shows on it. And we upload like, we're doing a movie review soon, I think, or like a review soon of Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what we're playing at the moment. What about you?
Yeah, all that content candy, and then also tomorrow we'll be doing Video Chronic. I think we're doing.
Let me see what we are doing because we decided not to do the one that we said
yeah,
going to
we're
do.
gonna do something. We're gonna change that up. I think.
Let's see what we got. Here are the ones that they do have. Okay,
Let's.
So-
Big decisions right now on screen. Let's do.
we did the second one too.
We're going
Okay.
to do James and the Giant Peach
Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
tomorrow. Video Chronic Pop Culture Quiz.
that was the first movie I ever went like on a field trip. We went in like 3rd grade and went and saw James and the Giant Peach. We had just read it in school.
I've never
Um,
seen it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I'm gonna watch this
Yeah,
one.
you should watch it.
You know, I was afraid of peaches for a while.
Mhm.
It was
peachophobia.
it was the stop motion animation like style that it's some of the creatures are a little
It's
creepy.
the thing in the water. The thing in the water that's after them will always give me nightmares.
Oh, it's stop motion. Oh, I don't like stop motion. That kind of animation stuff freaks me the fuck out. But we'll see.
Well,
Hey,
stop
Malcolm, come
motion
on.
seems to like Roald Dahl. I'm
Mm.
surprised they haven't done a stop motion Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Ooh,
Maybe that'll be the Chalamet one.
right.
That's right.
Turns out it's just
Um,
voicing.
Sean, other than here, obviously, on our new Sunday show, the Swift Wings Speakeasy, where can
That's the
folks
show.
find you?
You can find me over down here. Just hit me up on Twitter. I got things pinned. We are also simul streaming on Twitch and on my Twitch. So hit follow and subscribe if you like me. And if we ever make it to the goal of Horizon when it comes out next February, you can see me. You can see me play along with that game. Coming up pretty soon, meaning like 2 days from now. I will be in the FCL competing against the Flying Cow in an Intergeekdom match, and we got a singles match as the opener too on that one. So that'll be fun. So come back for that. Hit me up. Follow Twitter. Follow the Schmodown on Twitch.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Well, obviously, if you haven't already, click follow, subscribe wherever you're listening, watching, whatever on here. Support the channel. Tomorrow morning, that is Monday for us here in the Washington parts at 11 a.m. PST, I will be with Scott Fox doing our movie news podcast. We got some fun stuff to talk to. I get to talk about the Sandman teaser a little more. Netflix dropped a bunch of stuff, so it might just be an all Netflix show. We'll see how that goes. But other than that, yeah, that's it from us. So until tomorrow, and then next Sunday after that, hopefully we can get Drew and Eric back on the show and get some more guests. Had a lot of fun. But until then, keep it real.
See you guys.
See you guys next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out.
Check this out. Bam. Hey everyone, Jesse here, and don't exit out quite yet. While I have you, I want to take just a quick second to talk with you about something that's very important to me. Right now on the Flickin' Reel channel, we're just a couple of guys sitting around and speaking geek, but we think that we can build into something greater. We think that we can build a community, a place for all of us to come together and talk about our thoughts and experiences about various types of fandoms. For this to happen, though, we do need your help, so please do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel. Along with that, click that little bell icon that notifies you anytime that we upload new content for your viewing pleasure. So again, thank you so much for stopping by and visiting us this week. We hope we'll see you again next week. And just remember, until then, keep it real.